Chapter 45, Hot Room and Calm Your Heart. In? Hikaru. Why yeah, a cheap one though. Refria. I see tilde. Hikaru. She brought me to her lodging. Why an inn? Here, let's go in before the people of the inn notice us. Refria. Refria goes up the stairs while still holding my arm with unbelievable strength. I followed her lead just like that. My head felt light, and my brain couldn't process anything properly right now. She might be drunk herself. She opened the door to the room at the end, pushed me into the room, and locked the door with her hands behind her back. I would say her room is slightly better than the one I am staying at. Refria looked like a rich girl, but that might not actually be the case. She lit the lamp in the room and sat at the bed. The swaying and fleeting light was accentuating the beautiful body of Refria. I told you I wanted to thank you, but I actually don't have that much money. Refria, I see. Then, there's no need to push yourself. Hikaru. No, I want to thank you, and so I couldn't think of anything but this. Refria. She says this as she unbuttoned her shirt one by one. Below that shirt that she hesitantly took off, there was only a thin petticoat. The lines of those white and plentiful breasts of hers were revealed, and I averted my gaze. I didn't expect it to turn out this way. I could feel myself sobering at max speed. Rather than happiness, confusion took over me faster. Refria, I haven't been around these areas for long. Is this a normal way of thanking others around here? Hikaru. No. It isn't that normal. I think. But I somewhat understand that this has value. But I have no experience, so I don't know if I will do well. Refria. Her eyes were damp as she said this. Her voice, her shoulders, even her fingers were trembling. And even with that, she faced my way, and invited me as if she had resolved herself. It is true that it may have value. If it is someone like you, Refria, it would go for who knows how much gold. No, you can't even put a price to it. Hikaru, I don't think there's as much value as you say it as. But I am happy that you think that. Also, it is true that I think it would be fine if it is you, Hikaru. Refria, she placed her fingers on the string of her petticoat, and closed her eyes. I sat by her side and stopped her hand. In the first place, I saved you on my own volition. You didn't ask me to save you. No. Not only that, you could even say I stole your kill. Hikaru, hitting an already aggroed mob is even considered bad manners in MAPX. This world is obviously not a game, but there's the need to apply some of that logic to it. No, I asked my servants to call for help, and it is indisputable that you saved me, Hikaru. Refria. Then, let's say I did come to save you under your call. Does that mean that from now on, when people save you, you are going to continue thanking them in this manner? This time it was me, but if it had been another man, they would have taken you without hesitation. Aren't you an explorer? This is almost like prostitution. Hikaru, in no way. A prostitute is just. Refria, but am I not right? Is it that different? Hikaru, I am giving her a sermon here when I am not even from this world. Is what I thought, but I have to say this. She is an idiot. She has the appearance of someone that's a bit intelligent. But sadly to say, she is imprudent, thoughtless, and too self-conscious, and way too good of a person. I have always been worried about the boldness of my little sisters who grew up fast in both mind and body, so I can't leave girls like this be. Her appearance might be top tier, but that's exactly why I have to tell her this. More so because I was pissed. I can't think of anything else. Also. I thought it was fine if it was you, Hikaru. When you showed up from inside the darkness. You were cool. Refria was muttering excuses while looking down. I must have looked a bit nicer because I saved her life. It was dark too. The cleavage of her breasts was accentuated from her curling up, shaking my heart, but I want her to understand this properly. Refria. An explorer is a job where you save and are saved. There's no need to owe anything to anyone on every single instance. If you want to thank someone no matter what, treating them to a meal really is plenty enough. Hikaru, I actually don't know how explorers operate, but helping each other out in the battlefield, that is the dungeon, should be a given. What we are doing is hunting. It should be normal for hunters to help each other. But my family precepts tell me that I should return a debt. Rufria, that's why I am talking here about the way you returned that debt. Returning that debt with your body is the thought pattern of a psycho. If you were to save an explorer, and let's say that person is a handsome man, what would you do if that person told you that they want to return the debt with their body? Hikaru, I would kick them. Rufria looks down and goes silent just like that. This type of convincing is difficult. There's no knowing if she has understood the real meaning of the word, and it is not like I am certainly on the right here. The side of me pushing my own values on her is stronger here. I am a man myself, so if I were asked whether my feelings are wavering here, I would say they are. You are beautiful and charming, but I am not happy being thanked in this manner. Hikaru, I say this, but I don't know what to do. She has her head drooped and completely silent. I took a deep breath and opened the status board. I myself need to cool my head down too. The viewers have increased. Even a situation like this is being watched. Hikaru. At some point in time, my real-time viewers have increased to over 200 million. It is around 10 times as much as the standard recently. The time I spent with Rufria was fun. It probably doesn't have anything to do with her being beautiful. I simply missed human interaction. I was lonely on my own. I wanted someone who would laugh together with me, but that's my weakness. I am still drunk, and this situation doesn't feel real, but there's no doubt I will be regretting what I did now tomorrow morning. Rufria herself gets watched my being involved with me. That would trample on her very dignity. Anyways, I have managed to accept my own feelings thanks to you having a meal with me. If you are going to continue being an explorer, don't do something like this ever again, okay? Hikaru, I don't know if she will actually change, but I am sure my connection with her will be severed with this. She has been silent this whole time, but I am sure she is angry. No one would want to be preached like this. In the end, I might have hurt her with my own selfishness, but that's fine. In the first place, we are living in different worlds. I stood up from the bed just like that. If I were to leave just like this, that would be the end of it. Wait, my hand was grabbed. Chapter 46, melting into the darkness and resolve. Wait. Rufria, just as I was leaving, my hand was grabbed weakly, to the point that it would be easy to shake it off. When I look back, she had raised her head, her cheeks were flushed, and her eyes were damp, and she looked up at me with a steamy gaze. That sight of hers squeezed my heart tightly. Hikaru. Don't leave, please reprimand me more. If you don't, I feel like I might mess up more. Okay? Scold me more. Rufria. A plea in tears. Rufria wasn't angry. She wasn't angry, but this isn't what I expected. If you were to leave just like this, I feel like I really might make a mistake. Yesterday when I was waiting at the entrance of the dungeon, countless explorers spoke to me. They were pretty stubborn. There might be a time when I won't be able to refuse them. Rufria, are you threatening me here? Hikaru, if I said this, you would stay, right? You are kind, after all, Hikaru. Rufria, I had no choice but to give up. I scratched my head and sat back on the bed. There was a time before where my little sisters coaxed me in a similar fashion. Is this like a special technique for women? Rufria. How old are you? Hikaru, why so sudden? 16 years old. What about you, Hikaru? Rufria, 15. No, 17 years old. Hikaru, I see, so you were older. Rufria, what does that mean? Hikaru, I have simply increased my body age by 2 years, So I am still mentally 15 years old. But maybe because I have had a lot of hardships with my family, I was often seen as an older person in my world. I think I am the type that has a childish face, but the hardships must have shown in my face. Anyways, Rafria is 16 years old. Huh. I thought she was older. If you are 16, you should be able to think for yourself. You are the one that chooses to follow other people trying to pick you up or not. I have no duty or right to tell you what to do. Hikaru. Then, you wouldn't dislike that? Rafria. She looked straight at me and asked me this. Rafria is so sly. I wouldn't like it. Hikaru. Why? You said just now that you had no duty or right about this. Rafria. It is because you are beautiful. I wouldn't like you being tainted by a random man. Hikaru. Tilda. Rafria. Wha? Oi. Hikaru. She suddenly hugged me from the side and was pushed down onto the bed. I'm fine if it is with you, Hikaru. No, I don't want anyone but you. This is my first time feeling like this. Did you know? Even when we are just like this, my heart has been saying it is happy this whole time. Just by feeling your touch and your warmth transmitting to me, I am assailed by an unbearable feeling. Rafria. Is there a man who wouldn't fall when being straddled like this and approached this passionately? If it weren't for the fact that people from all around the world were watching, who knows what I would have done here. Calm down, Rafria. Idiot, you must still be drunk. Hikaru. Idiot, you say. Can you say that one more time? Rafria. Idiot, idiot, idiot. Hikaru. This is my first time being called an idiot. Rafria. TLN. He is actually saying oh my, which is a really informal way of saying you. Translates awkwardly. Greater than. She hugged me again tightly. I felt that heated body with my whole body, and I felt like I myself was heating up. Even though I was in a bit more of a decent state until now. You really should hold back on the alcohol. You will definitely make a mistake. No. You are currently making one. Hikaru. You think I am doing something like this because I am drunk? Rafria. There's no way you would do something like this if you were. Hikaru. I was about to finish what I was saying when Rafria lifted up her body with her face bright red, but those teary eyes were different from that of a drunk person, pretending to be drunk. If I don't, I wouldn't be able to do something so daring as this out of embarrassment. Rafria. Good grief. Anyways, I won't be leaving, so calm down. Hikaru. You won't? Rafria. As I said, I won't. Hikaru. Then, I guess I will get picked up by someone. Tilda. If you don't embrace me, Hikaru, I guess I will get embraced by someone else. Tilda. Rafria. Even if you try to tease me here. Hikaru. I don't know what tugged at her heartstrings, but I didn't expect to be attacked in this way. My mind was completely overloaded to the point I couldn't even think about the gazes of Earth or the laughs. See? You can tell my heart is racing, right? Rafria. What? Hikaru. She grabbed my hand and pushed it onto her own breast. This is my second time feeling this, including the time with the prostitute, but it felt incomparably sweeter than that time, and my heart was on the verge of melting. I have been searching for you for several days. At that time, I was always thinking about you, Hikaru. Wondering what he would talk about. What would his smile look like? Rafria. Her heartbeat I could feel when our skin touched. The heat. That kindness. It was a temptation hard to fight against for someone like me who has been surviving in this parallel world all alone. I want to be forgiven. I want to be consoled. I want comfort. That's why. To tell you the truth here, this talk about thanking you is simply an excuse. It was fun after having a meal with you. I simply thought you really were the right person. That's why. See? Rafria. Is that so? Hikaru. Her breath caressed my earlobe, and her hot and damp lips grazed my cheek. Her silk-like hair hanging from her ear flowed down smoothly, and tickled my neck. Our heated bodies were brought together as if attracted to each other, our skin sticking to each other. My mind was going completely blank here. The wooden window had been closed but had slight moonlight peeking in from it, combined with the faint light of the lantern. My shadow and her shadow overlapped into one. Only the sound of our breathing could be heard, and the air in this room was rising and melting. I was on the verge of falling here. But at that moment, Pin Pon Pan, an announcement to the Chosen: from tomorrow on for 2 weeks, we will be holding the first viewer count race. We have prepared super wonderful prizes for the Chosen who gather the most attention from the viewers in the span of the event. Please do participate. The big prize for this most auspicious first competition is the Resurrection Gem. This is a special item that is impossible to obtain on Earth or the parallel world. Go ahead, come ahead, aim for the first spot in this most auspicious first competition, and gather those viewers. It was as if a cold ice stake was rammed at my back, a tactless announcement that brought back my heated senses. Don't fondle that hard, Hikaru. What's the matter? Rufria, I am sorry. See, can you please wait for a bit? Hikaru, I hurriedly opened the status board. To Rufria, I might look like a weirdo who is moving his finger in midair, but I pay no mind to that. Right now, just what did that announcement say? The big prize is the Resurrection Gem. Did it say that? Hey, what's the matter? Really? You are trembling. Rufria, sorry, just a bit. Wait for a bit please. Hikaru, I repeated the same thing and my heart was racing for a different reason from just before. The status board had already updated with the details about the viewer count race. I tapped the Resurrection Gem with my trembling fingers. Resurrection Gem, sacred treasure, the God gem that brings back your important someone to life. The ones who died on Earth, the ones who died in the parallel world. It can be used for any of those two. Be careful as this will revive them at the place they died. If it isn't someone important to you, it won't be possible to revive them. My whole body was sweating profusely. My heart was drumming to unprecedented levels. If I get first in the viewer count race, I can revive Nanami. There's already no point in doubting the power of God. If it is saying it can revive the dead, it should be able to. No matter what God's plan is, if I can revive Nanami, why you are acting weird all of a sudden? Are you not feeling well? Wait, Kaya. Rufria, I lifted my upper half, and hugged Rufria. My decision was instant. I will take first place. No matter the method. Even if I have to sell my soul to the devil. Your repayment. I want to take it. Hikaru, yeah, that was my intention. So I am all right with that. But why the sudden change of mind? Rufria, the circumstances have changed. And so, about this. Can I book it for later? Hikaru, book it? As in doing it on another day? Rufria, yeah, this may be weird, but I will definitely take it, so please don't let any other man have it. Hikaru, I am the worst. I am thinking about using Rufria. It is impossible for me alone to take first place. But the worse a man the viewers think of me, the less the viewers that hate me will be able to take their eyes off me. After making a thinking gesture for a bit, Rufria speaks. Booking. I am not against the idea itself. But just as I said before, I will be leaving this city. My comrades. Or more like, the girls from my family that served me have already left since it was already time. I was planning on returning once I thanked you, Hikaru. Rufria, then, does that mean you won't be doing explorer work anymore? Hikaru, yeah, it is impossible on my own, and partying with others at this point in time is a bit. You may think I am being too self-conscious here, but the other explorers look at me with lecherous gazes. Rufria, entering a party of explorers alone is difficult. I haven't even thought about it even when I am always alone. And Rufria is a dazzling beauty. If she were to enter a party with men, there's no doubt she would have a hard time. That's why, if possible, I would like you to accept my thanks today. If I return to Silshan, I won't be able to come back here easily anymore. Rufria, for her. This is probably just a memory in her journey. But I need her. Definitely, for the sake of taking first place in the viewer count race and resurrecting Nanami. Rifria. From tomorrow on, will you party with me? I need you. Hikaru. I would be happy to party with you. But really, what happened to you? You changed way too drastically all of a sudden. Rifria. Changed drastically. That must be the case. I have been living in a way that I wouldn't stand out, so that the viewers wouldn't increase. But in order to revive Nanami, I need to do the exact opposite. I have to stand out in the flashiest of ways. If I am being hated and the viewers are watching in amusement, I will take first place even if I have to become a villain. I am sure I will be hated even more than ever before. Sympathy will gather around Rifria, and they might tell the other chosen she is being deceived. But I don't mind that. Whatever the price it is. As long as I can take first place. When it is all over, I will tell you everything. That's why. Can you please keep me company? Hikaru. Oh, okay. I myself wouldn't want to return to my home with a half-baked conclusion like this, so being able to join forces with a strong spirit user like you, Hikaru, is more than I could wish for. Rifria. Thanks. Looking forward to working with you from tomorrow on. I will come pick you up in the morning. Hikaru. I lightly kissed the cheek of Rifria and left while she was dumbfounded. Rifria is a dazzling beauty. I am sure she will gather the eyes of the viewers. It is not like I am not feeling bad for using her for my benefit. After everything is over, I will definitely atone for this. The price for that atonement. I don't mind even if it is my very life. Chapter 047. Exclusive Chosen Bulletin Board JPN, number 1000, Kurose Hikaru, 2522nd. 238. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-sama once again. -239. Anonymous from Earth. It is a festival. -240. Anonymous from Earth. You love. What is this woman saying all of a sudden? 241. Anonymous from Earth. The sudden outburst of Karen was cute. Even though she is normally the downer type. -242. Anonymous from Earth. Well, no matter how you see it, she was a stalker after all. Of course she would at least confess. -243. Anonymous from Earth. To be loved by a super beauty like that. If this weren't an Isekai, he definitely would have a more plain look than us. -244. Anonymous from Earth. His face is plain even in the Isekai. He hides in the shadows. -245. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru finally is getting involved with someone else. -246. Anonymous from Earth. The camera panning to the grinning black market-old man was so godlike. Lol. -247. Anonymous from Earth. A date. -248. Anonymous from Earth. This is an emergency. I will go wake up Celica. The emergency alert of Karen showed up. -249. Anonymous from Earth. It completely switched to a watch-along. -250. Anonymous from Earth. They are simply going to be having a meal, right? -251. Anonymous from Earth. No, look at that happy face of Rifria-sama. This world is filled with women who easily invite you to hotels, you know? The chastity of Hikaru is in danger. -252. Anonymous from Earth. Right. It is a society with gender equality, in a sexual meaning. -253. Anonymous from Earth. The rate of a young man and woman ending up like that is super high after all. This is bad. That's why Karen must have gone to wake up Celica. -254. Anonymous from Earth. Aren't the chances of that happening high even in our modern world? It is the same here, you know? -255. Anonymous from Earth. Young men and women are having a whole ton of sex where you guys don't know. It is just you guys not knowing. -256. Anonymous from Earth. Can you please not go twisting the knife? minus 257. Anonymous from Earth. He is being made to drink an alcoholic beverage similar to a screwdriver cocktail, minus 258. Anonymous from Earth. Isn't this the place where Crabble and Jardin brought Alex to before and ended up drinking himself unconscious? Minus 259. Anonymous from Earth. This is bad. Minus 260. Anonymous from Earth. Despite Alex's looks, it was the first time he had alcohol. That was pretty cute. Minus 261. Anonymous from Earth. North America is pretty strict when it comes to underage alcohol intake after all. Minus 262. Anonymous from Earth. He is being super talkative after drinking. So cute. Minus 263. Anonymous from Earth. It is so cute how Rafria-sama is going all Kyan at Hikaru Kyan. Minus 264. Anonymous from Earth. Maybe black hair looks sexy in that world? Minus 265. Anonymous from Earth. This woman has made Anna-chan drink alcohol. 266. Anonymous from Earth. Celica. Umao. Minus 267. Anonymous from Earth. She did talk about a previous episode where Hikaru was made to drink alcohol by his drunk parents after all. He was all tipsy and cute, was it? I don't really understand the view of women. Minus 268. Anonymous from Earth. No. Those tears will obviously get you. They got me. From today on, I am Rafria-sama. Minus 269. Anonymous from Earth. Rather than women, his little sisters are middle schoolers though. Wasn't that episode when they were in elementary school? Minus 270. Anonymous from Earth. Those two are super precocious after all. Minus 271. Anonymous from Earth. Is that how you become when you are intelligent? They did say that they could stay as just normal children in front of his brother though. Minus 272. Anonymous from Earth. They apparently had intelligence that would easily allow them to graduate from college when they were still elementary school students after all. Even their teachers must have been careful with them. Minus 273. Anonymous from Earth. Doesn't Hikaru have poison resistance? He seems to be decently drunk here though. Minus 274. Anonymous from Earth. You apparently are stronger to alcohol with poison resistance, but it doesn't make it impossible for you to get drunk. And, even when drunk, when the time requires it, you will be detoxified immediately. It has already been proven. Minus 275. Anonymous from Earth. That's some impressive poison resistance. Well, we are talking about a power created by God, so it is a matter of course I guess. Minus 276. Anonymous from Earth. Not being able to get drunk at all is nothing but a demerit after all. There isn't that much entertainment in an isekai, so it would be way too rough to take alcohol out from one of them. Minus 277. Anonymous from Earth. By the way, if it does make you stronger to alcohol, that must mean Hikaru Kyan was originally ultra weak to alcohol. Minus 278. Anonymous from Earth. Is it already over after leaving the place? Minus 279. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria-sama is so pushy. I am jealous. Minus 280. Anonymous from Earth. Oh Anna-kun. But that voice didn't reach. 281. Anonymous from Earth. She is totally bringing him to a hotel here. Minus 282. Anonymous from Earth. Inviting him to an inn is way too straight. Minus 283. Anonymous from Earth. An explorer is a job that you don't know if tomorrow will even come. They wouldn't be taking their sweet time with each step. Minus 284. Anonymous from Earth. This is bad. Minus 285. Anonymous from Earth. Rec. 286. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria-sama taking off her shirt. Hikaru Kyan standing there dumbfounded. And 200 million zippers opening up. Minus 287. Anonymous from Earth. Oh, Anna-chan is going to fall prey to a carnivorous woman. He was supposed to be mine. Eh? Eh? What's with this conversation? Umao. -288. Anonymous from Earth. Karen suddenly shows her lover-struck side to her, so it has destructive power. -289. Anonymous from Earth. Celica is always fawning over him, so there's even suspicions about her faking it after all. -290. Anonymous from Earth. To think Rafria-sama would suddenly invite him to an inn. That's super bold. -291. Anonymous from Earth. I didn't expect it really would end up with this development. The women of that world really are predators. -292. Anonymous from Earth. And in reality, she was eating a whole lot of meat at the diner. -293. Anonymous from Earth. The whole world is going crazy over this development. -294. Anonymous from Earth. I laughed out loud at how crazy the viewer numbers were going up. -295. Anonymous from Earth. It surpassed the 100 millions in the blink of an eye. Umao. -296. Anonymous from Earth. Are there only sluts in this world? No matter how cute Anna-chan is, to fall in love with him 5 seconds after meeting him. 297. Anonymous from Earth. The little sisters are burning so much. There will be so many clippable moments. This is super amusing. -298. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria-sama is 16 even when she looks like that. Wow, eyes are just wow. -299. Anonymous from Earth. I won't say what's so amazing about it, but they are amazing marvels of nature. I am so jealous. -300. Anonymous from Earth. The reactions of the little sisters are so noisy I can't concentrate at all on what's happening though. -301. Anonymous from Earth. Seriously? He gave her a sermon and pushed her away? -302. Anonymous from Earth. Anna-chan. -303. Anonymous from Earth. Wow, Hikaru. I am impressed you didn't turn into a monster there. -304. Anonymous from Earth. Even though I have become a monster by just watching here. -305. Anonymous from Earth. His sermons were ours only. You thieving cat. Even though Celica is intelligent, she is an idiot. -306. Anonymous from Earth. I am impressed at Hikaru for being able to push away that temptation. I would have partaken in a heartbeat. -307. Anonymous from Earth. See that? That's our Anna-chan. I can kinda understand what those two are saying. Well, even if part of it is because he is aware about the many open zippers watching him around the world. -308. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru. Don't you know that not partaking in the meal in front of you is the shame of a man? -309. Anonymous from Earth. He is way too straight-laced after all. -310. Anonymous from Earth. There's the possibility that he became this straight-laced because of how extraordinary Celica and Karen are though. -311. Anonymous from Earth. I think it is also the craziness of their parents that we can get a peek at from the conversations of the twins though. -312. Anonymous from Earth. Anyways, Rafria-chan is really aggressive. She also has stalker tendencies, so maybe she is a yantia? -313. Anonymous from Earth. The women there are pretty much like that, you know? Because there's spirit energy in that world, there's no difference between men and women in terms of power. That's why it is completely normal for women to invite men. There's a whole lot of women in the army too. There's even a decent amount of cases where women are at the top of a country. -314. Anonymous from Earth. If I had met a man like Hikaru-kun, maybe I wouldn't be having a life like this. -315. Anonymous from Earth. Stop with the heavy comment, lol. -316. Anonymous from Earth. Well, you would normally take her. There's no reason not to. -317. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is an idiot. You can just give her the sermon after doing her. He really is still a brat. -318. Anonymous from Earth. Indeed, the bargaining between men and women must be sly. -319. Anonymous from Earth. Are they going to leave like this? -320. Anonymous from Earth. He was called to a stop and straddled. -321. Anonymous from Earth. Not yet. It ain't over yet. -322. Anonymous from Earth. This isn't good. This is a critical hit against a virgin introvert. -323. Anonymous from Earth. I would dig in instantly. -324. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-sama is turning into a yandere. -325. Anonymous from Earth. Wasn't she one to begin with? -326. Anonymous from Earth. Boobs. -327. Anonymous from Earth. Boobies. -328. Anonymous from Earth. There's no man who can fight against this temptation. So it can't be helped. Be swayed. It is okay to be swayed. -329. Anonymous from Earth. This is definitely gonna go all the way. Rec. 330. Anonymous from Earth. The god Kamru is pretty lenient when it comes to sex after all. Eros is allowed. Rec. 331. Anonymous from Earth. You guys are hopeless. The twins are saddened here, you know. Rec. 332. Anonymous from Earth. Fondled. -333. Anonymous from Earth. We were on such a good roll there, and yet, Hikaru suddenly turned weird. What happened? -334. Anonymous from Earth. Looking at the status board and all. This ain't the time for that. -335. Anonymous from Earth. There's apparently a viewer count race. Looks like an announcement suddenly arrived. It has also been published on the website. -336. Anonymous from Earth. The first place award is a resurrection item. So that's what's making Hikaru panic. -337. Got it. Official announcement for everyone on Earth. From tomorrow on for 2 weeks, the first viewer count race will begin. We have prepared super wonderful prizes for the chosen who gather the most attention from the viewers in the span of the event. The big prize for this most auspicious first competition is the Resurrection Gem. This is a special item that is impossible to obtain on Earth or the parallel world. Who will be the one taking the glory of first? Please root for your favorite chosen even more than ever. -338. Anonymous from Earth. Reviving the dead? Isn't it an actual evil god then? -339. Anonymous from Earth. It was super scary how Celica muttered God there. -340. Anonymous from Earth. Are they doing it on purpose knowing that Hikaru is suffering from the matter of Nanami-chan? Was that resurrection gem taking that in consideration? -341. Anonymous from Earth. You are overthinking it. Reviving the dead is a dreamlike item for the entirety of humanity. You can even use it for when a party member dies, right? Isn't it basically like the leaf of the world tree? -342. Anonymous from Earth. It doesn't have to be used on the spot after all. -343. Anonymous from Earth. It is on the level that a king could give you territory for that. -344. Anonymous from Earth. Karen went Celica. It is time and Celica went. Yeah. It seems like they had an understanding there. But what is it? -345. Anonymous from Earth. Seriously? God can even revive the dead? -346. Anonymous from Earth. 344. The announcement was exactly at 12 standard GMT. Hikaru's location has a time difference of 9 hours, so it is the same time as Japan. In other words, it is 9 p.m. and the viewer count race begins tomorrow at 0 o'clock. Where Hikaru is, that would be 9 a.m. minus 347. Anonymous from Earth, important. It is twin, sis. From today to 2 weeks, we will be stopping the making of highlight videos. Instead, the two of us will be in rotations watching the main broadcast of Hikaru for 24 hours and doing real-time translations. Nanami and Ain is basically family for us. If Una-chan is going to be doing his best to revive her, we will also be backing him up with everything we've got. Everyone, please watch the main broadcast and bring our brother to first place. Please provide us with your cooperation. Minus 348. Anonymous from Earth. The twins have descended. Minus 349. Anonymous from Earth. They understand the situation way too fast. Is it because they are siblings? Minus 350. Anonymous from Earth. Celica was so manly there I cried. She read the feelings of her brother way too fast. Minus 351. Anonymous from Earth. What does that mean? Minus 352. Anonymous from Earth. 1 minute after the announcement of the viewer count race. Even though they were going this woman, taking a mounted position. Just a few moments ago. Minus 353. Anonymous from Earth. 351. I will explain to the viewers just in case. I think Una-chan is going to be using the beauty of Rufria-san here to get first place. That's why he suddenly invited her to become a party member. He is most likely thinking that he will be doing anything for the sake of reviving Nanami and Ain. Or something along those lines, but he is kind by nature, so I feel like they will just be flirting here though. Whichever the case, Nanami and Ain is family. If our brother is aiming for first place, we plan on backing him up with our all. You all, follow along, got it? 354. Anonymous from Earth. I love you, Celica. I of course love you too, Karen. Minus 355. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru instantly made advances on Rufria-sama. That's impressive. It is pretty difficult to reach a decision in that scenario and go away without the sex. Minus 356. Anonymous from Earth. Even though he was getting completely overwhelmed just a few moments ago, it was as if a switch suddenly flipped on Hikaru. Minus 357. Anonymous from Earth. Yeah, the sex will be able to give him viewers, so he booked it in order to increase the hype for that day. Huh, what an idiot. He obviously would get more viewers if he were to have sex every day. Minus 358. Anonymous from Earth. That's difficult for a virgin. Also, this might be unexpected, but those types of streams don't really increase the viewers that much. See Zhan-chan. Even though she is dead stalwart with none of those elements, she is still super popular. Minus 359. Anonymous from Earth. Zhan-chan is completely a hero stream, so that's way too special of a case. She would enter an abandoned castle that has become a natural dungeon all on her own and would mutter stuff like it reminds me of Boletaria. Minus 361. Anonymous from Earth. If there's still people who think Hikaru is the one that killed Nanami-chan with this, they would be plain idiots. Minus 362. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru gave her a kiss on the cheek as he left. Nicely done for a virgin. 361. Sadly to say, idiots fill the world. Minus 363. Anonymous from Earth. I thought Hikaru was the star of the introverts, but maybe he actually was a womanizer. Minus 364. Anonymous from Earth. We are talking about the brother of those twins after all. He must be the type that can do it when the time needs it. Minus 365. Anonymous from Earth. 346. I see. So it was simply bad timing. Hikaru always has bad timing. Even at the time of the messages, it was a timing as if it had been premeditated. But that was also when 10 days had passed since the transfer after all. Minus 366. Anonymous from Earth. I was about to have my heart explode since I secretly betted on Hikaru for the who will be the next chosen who will have sex in the total stakes, but it ended up being premature joy. -367. Anonymous from Earth. So there was someone who voted for Hikaru, lol. -368. Anonymous from Earth. What were the rates if you had won? -369. Anonymous from Earth. 4,588 times. I bet 2,000 yen. My 9,170,000 yen. -370. Anonymous from Earth. He is basically last place with that. You could even get 450,000 with just 100 yen. -371. Anonymous from Earth. No. There's even lower people, you know. But well, we are talking about Hikaru here with that lifestyle after all. -372. Anonymous from Earth. What a crazy rate. Well, this is betting on about more than 700 people, so of course it would turn out like that. Even if the rates are high, looking at the lifestyle of Hikaru, the chances really are like winning the lottery. -373. Anonymous from Earth. The next part is really the deal breaker after all. It can't be helped that the rates for the people with low chances would increase. -374. Anonymous from Earth. 4,500 times. You say, to think there was someone who would buy such a shit betting ticket. -375. Anonymous from Earth. The ones at the top are practically rabbits after all. -376. Anonymous from Earth. The rabbits that are in the legend section have been taken out from the race. -377. Anonymous from Earth. Too bad. But there's still a chance. I will bet on Hikaru once more. -378. Anonymous from Earth. I guess I will too. He did meet Rafria-sama after all, so there's the chance. -379. Anonymous from Earth. No. What chance are you talking about? He booked it. Bet the rates are dropping all the way down to maybe 20 times. -380. Anonymous from Earth. R. Hikaru. You idiot. -381. Anonymous from Earth. Are you all here after watching the highlight video? The highlight video isn't even out yet, right? -382. Anonymous from Earth. Oh, is this your first time here? Just relax and Google twin, sis. -383. Anonymous from Earth. We are watching both the mainstream and the live watch along with twin, sis. The Hikaru fans are all doing that. -384. Anonymous from Earth. How can you even understand what's said? -385. Anonymous from Earth. Karen is running a software for translation, so you can understand most of what's said. -386. Anonymous from Earth. For the places that the translation program doesn't work, Celica herself would be doing the translation after all. -387. Anonymous from Earth. Those two really have high specs. You could even say I've become a fan of those two rather than Hikaru. -388. Anonymous from Earth. The one that's abnormally strong in languages is Celica, and the one that's abnormally strong with technology is Karen. But it is not like they are weak at other points aside from that. Karen can easily speak 3 languages. Seriously monsters. -389. Anonymous from Earth. Karen can speak in binary code though. -390. Anonymous from Earth. You don't speak binary code. It is simply that she specializes in programming. -391. Anonymous from Earth. I couldn't understand at all the programming course for beginners that Karen uploaded on YouTube. -392. Anonymous from Earth. It was advanced, but it was pretty easy to understand. Being able to do such complicated processing with just a few lines of simple code was as expected of her. But the teaching of Karen was way too peculiar. You do this, and it becomes this. And Waller ! Don't give me that. By the way, the exclusive advanced course was seriously impossible to understand, so I felt the danger when I saw that one. minus 393. Anonymous from Earth. Those twins were editing the videos of Hikaru while going to school, doing live streams, and on top of that, analyzing the official website too. Minus 394. Anonymous from Earth. The audio commentary version is now using more live stream audio than before though. Well, that way feels like a raw reaction, so it is Benny though. Minus 395. Anonymous from Earth. What's this about analyzing the official website? Minus 396. Anonymous from Earth. The parallel world transfer official website that we are looking at. There's no knowing where the servers are located at, or with what logic it is displayed, and yet, it can be seen from almost any computer terminal, whether it be TVs, smartphones, and of course PCs. Moreover, even though there's concentrated traffic of billions from the whole world, it hasn't crashed, or even lagged. We can just brush it off as this being the deed of God, but when something's not known, it is in the nature of researchers to investigate it. It seems like there's almost no progress at all though. Minus 397. Anonymous from Earth. I myself push the theory that there's actually no physical servers, and all humanity is hallucinating en masse. Minus 398. Anonymous from Earth. There it is. The hallucination theory. Well, that's just how unbelievable of a situation it is. Minus 399. Anonymous from Earth. Just how much are Celica and Karen earning? Minus 400. Anonymous from Earth. They are most likely in the millions in monthly income. There's basically no highlight videos of Hikaru aside from the ones of twin sis. So not only do they get viewers from the whole world, they are also properly doing the translated versions to perfection. They are lined up as the top together with Ikakin in Japan. Minus 401. Anonymous from Earth. They said they would even be making dubbed versions using voice actors. Those girls are fearsome. Minus 402. Anonymous from Earth. The other companies were going, we can't compete with this, and have taken their hands off from making edited videos of Hikaru. It is technically a monopoly. Minus 403. Anonymous from Earth. Even international conglomerates avoided competing. Minus 404. Anonymous from Earth. They had to suddenly live overseas with their parents, but with that much money, they shouldn't have any inconveniences. Minus 405. Anonymous from Earth. In this case, who is the one earning the money? The brother, or the little sisters? Minus 406. Anonymous from Earth. Considering the specs, those twins would have been able to earn as much money even without their brother. That's just how outstanding they are. Minus 407. Anonymous from Earth. They are getting a % of the uses in the translation software, so even without those video projects, they would still be millionaires. Minus 408. Anonymous from Earth. And here those twins are going to be doing their all in backing him up in the viewer count race. What's going to happen? Minus 409. Anonymous from Earth. This is just me assuming, but twin sis are most likely the ones who are the most serious when it comes to backing up an individual. The big companies don't throw their money to just one person alone, so isn't this going to go pretty well? Even if not, Hikaru has gotten first place before. Minus 410. Anonymous from Earth. But we are talking about the world here. It won't be that easy. Minus 411. Anonymous from Earth. Well, at the very least, I will cooperate in whatever I can. Or so I say, but the only thing I can do is leave the stream on for 2 weeks though. Minus 412. Anonymous from Earth. I think Celica and Karen will be pumping money in the millions. I have the strange confidence that those two will be doing that much. Minus 413. Anonymous from Earth. Their brother is a wimp that lets the chance of a lifetime escape though. Minus 414. Anonymous from Earth. He said he would be reserving it for later though. In these kinds of situations, there normally isn't a next time, you know. Minus 415. Anonymous from Earth. At any rate, Rafria-sama is so lewd. This is going into my permanent folder. -416. Anonymous from Earth. It was so dark I could barely see anything, so I am looking forward to the next time. -417. Anonymous from Earth. But if Nanami-chan revives, won't the true culprit go kill her to seal her lips? -418. Anonymous from Earth. Celica said it before, right? I will go together with brawny old men to immediately protect her, and in the first place, we have already bought the house of Nanami and Ain. Tremble. 419. Anonymous from Earth. So strong. -420. Anonymous from Earth. I will follow Celica for the rest of my life. -421. Anonymous from Earth. Important. It is twin, sis. From today to 2 weeks, we will be stopping the making of highlight videos. Instead, the two of us will be in rotations watching the main broadcast of Hikaru for 24 hours and doing real-time translations. Nanami and Ain is basically family for us. If Unai-chan is going to be doing his best to revive her, we will also be backing him up with everything we've got. Everyone, please watch the main broadcast and bring our brother to first place. Please provide us with your cooperation. -422. Anonymous from Earth. I liked Nanami-chan, so I definitely want her to come back. I will support you as much as I can. -423. Anonymous from Earth. I am watching Tilda. I may not amount to much, but I will also cooperate. Bring Hikaru to first place. -424. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru to first place. -425. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru to first place. Chapter 48-49. The next morning and the beginning of the race. The next day, I had come to the Inn of Rafria early in the morning. What happened last night feels like a dream or something. But it wasn't a dream. That's because in the status board, there's big dancing letters saying viewer count race in progress. Rafria must remember what happened last night. Hikaru, that's one of my worries. There's no way to confirm if she was actually drunk or not there. There's the chance she was forgotten everything. Last night, after I returned to my inn, I investigated the details of the viewer count race. Cause even if you say viewer count, there's a lot of patterns to it. Is it by the highest real-time viewer count? Or are they going to be measuring it strictly by the total amount of views? Or they could even be going by the average viewer count. It seems God understands that there's questions in those areas. The rules of the race were clearly defined. In the period of the viewer count race, the total view time will be measured. For example, if one person watched 8 hours, the 8 hours would be counted. The total of all viewers will be added, and the one with the highest number will be the winner. You could say it is a simple but sure method of measurement. Cooperating between chosen and exchanging information with the messaging system is okay. This one doesn't have much to do with me, but it might be easier to gain viewer time by being in groups to bring the viewers of the chosen together. Awesome prizes have been prepared all the way to 10th place. Do try and participate. Looking at the reward list, it is true that they are all great, but I have no eyes for anything aside from the first place's resurrection gem. The ones who use the point loan system won't have the right to participate in this event. Now that I think about it, there was an announcement about there being a point loan system a while ago. Well, it is true that you could get points in advance to exchange for items or something like that in order to get an advantageous start, so that might be unfair. So God is strict with fairness, huh? After I researched about it from beginning to end, I confirmed my own situation from on top of my bed. My real-time viewer count, 192,330,000 people. Total views, 7,630,000,000. Likes, 1,510,000,000. Total crystals obtained, 78. Total points obtained, 6. Number of chosen, 709 1,000ths. Crystals in possession, 39. Points in possession, 5. The real-time viewers have increased all of a sudden. It must be because there was that night with Rafria. Even when I look back on it myself, it didn't feel real, as if it was a story from someone else. But her warmth still remains as if it were embers. You could say nothing happened, but thinking about how my parents might have seen that, I find it a bit hard to stay sane. Whichever the case, I have points, Hikaru. The points I obtained when I learned the Summon Undead and the Shining Flower. I could use these points I got when I came to this world. There's obviously items, but there's also physical ability and resistance. Just that. It seems like the special ability is a special category. I can't take those. I have 39 crystals. I could exchange 30 for 1 point, but crystals have their respective uses. It would be better not to change them here. 5 points, Hikaru. It is a worrisome number. I can go for physical strength up level 1 and vitality up level 1. I can also take natural recovery types, but I can just rely on potions for that. If my tier increases by defeating monsters, the body capabilities will apparently increase on all fronts, but thinking about my current situation, it really gotta be physical strength or vitality. As for resistances, I already have resistance to poison, diseases, and aging, so there's no need to put points on those. I can only have 1 spirit ability, so it is impossible to take more, but utilizing these 5 points here is a gamble in itself. I managed to survive in the forest because I had points remaining. There's no assurance I won't be falling into a similar situation. I still have 1 barrier stone remaining, but once I use that, that will be the end. I will lose my safety net for the times when something happens. But adventuring while leaving a safety net wouldn't be fun for the viewers. Hikaru, I have decided to take first place. Then, the only choice here is to use the points. I want to increase my viewers as much as possible. I will be using them when the viewer count race has started. Hikaru, after I decided that, I went to sleep last night. Honestly speaking, I was reminded of the events with Rafria and had a hard time sleeping. And so, while I waited for Rafria, I decided to use the points. After confirming my surroundings, I began talking to empty space. Hello, I am Kurose Hikaru. From today on. Hikaru, I stopped mid-sentence. I don't know if it is okay for me to announce that I am aiming for first place in the viewer count race. I'm being thought of as the guy that killed Nanami and went to the parallel world after all. If I were to proclaim I am aiming for first place, they might do their utmost to not watch me so that I can't get first place. Even if I were to tell them I want the resurrection gem to revive Nanami, who would believe me? I could be using it for something else. Or think that I want to sell the gem to earn big. That's just how they will end up taking it. No. It could be taken in an even worse way. If I take first place, no one else will be able to revive Nanami, so the truth will stay in the darkness. In other words, I am taking first place to seal the lips of Nanami. That's how it could be taken by the bad-natured ones. More so when the gem can only revive a person that is important to you. All the chosen of Japan have met Nanami. There might be ones who have gotten along with her. Well, of course, if they want to revive Nanami, I won't have any issues with that. But if they are just going to be a hindrance and it ends up with the result of none being able to take first place to revive Nanami, that would just be saddening. That's why I won't say it. If this were the usual, I would be grateful if they weren't watching. But just this time around. Just for this brief period, I want them to watch. From today on, I will be partying with Rafria and exploring the dungeon. Hikaru, I just give them a simple explanation of my plans. I did decide to take first place, but I don't know the best method to get there. I am not an influencer, or an entertainer, I am just your average high school student. There's no way I would know how to get viewers. What I know is that if I am together with Rafria, my viewers will increase with her beauty, and then talk about me using her will be spread. and the viewers on Earth will be burning even more. What's important is action and result. Telling the viewers I want to take first place here at this timing would be a demerit, and there wouldn't be much merit. Just that, I feel bad for Rufria, who will be exposed to several millions of curious gazes without her knowing. I am trying to use her goodwill and deceiving her after all. But if I don't do this, there's no way I will be able to take first place. Before diving into the dungeon, I will use my remaining 5 points and take physical strength up 1. Hikaru, it is pretty embarrassing to talk to empty space, but there's the need to acknowledge the viewers. It is not like there isn't any mental damage and uncomfortness from this, but I have to push myself here and leave those aside. I operate the status board and take the physical strength up 1. Yes. No, I push yes. At the same time as I did this, I felt my body growing hot. I don't think my body has changed. If I had to put it in words, it is more like the spirit energy in my body has activated. It might be similar to the times when I defeat monsters. With this, my physical strength has doubled, which is surprising. I currently don't feel the difference, but I should be able to tell when I'm in the dungeon. I explain this feeling to empty space. It is pretty idiotic, but viewers do exist. Doing small things like this to acknowledge the viewers shouldn't be a waste. There's the possibility of losing by a single viewer after all. I am currently waiting for Rufria. I met her last night for a bit, so seeing her is honestly a bit embarrassing, and we drank before, so maybe she doesn't remember. Hikaru, Hikaru? Is there anyone there? Here. That gave me a fright. So you were here, Rufria. Hikaru. Chapter 049. Beautiful person and promise. I was all flustered explaining the current situation, and didn't notice Rufria showing up. She saw me talking to empty space. Does she think I am a weirdo? Yeah, you were talking about something, so I was wondering what it was. Rufria, no. It was nothing. Good morning. Hikaru. Yeah, good morning. Rufria. She has silver armor equipped, and was dressed as a warrior with a crazy big sword. Her platinum blonde hair was basking in the morning sun, shining gently, and her snow-white skin was clear without a single blemish. Her big amber-color eyes were crystalline, and I could feel purity that was as if it could see through my evil heart. So beautiful, Hikaru. I instinctively wanted to hide. The courage to show myself in front of her shriveled in an instant. Last night I managed to talk with her and have a meal with her as if we were equals. But that must have been the magic of the night. Maybe the darkness helped me out. Being below the light of the sun reveals how small of a person I am. Wearing shabby and disorderly dyed black clothes, unkempt hair that has been left to grow all this time, and baggy black eyes lacking sleep. The dagger hanging from my waist is the second cheapest thing in the weapon store, and it is not like I am tall, and even my face is plain. No, that's fine. It is okay for there to be a bad result. I might be able to get viewers from that too. Hikaru, the more laughable I am, the better. The viewers must be wishing for me to suffer. If it is to become first, who cares how much I am hurt? I clenched my fist and spoke to her. Rufria, could you sleep well last night? I didn't manage to sleep that much. Hikaru, you too, Hikaru? Actually, I myself didn't sleep that much either. Rufria's gaze swam a bit and was blushing slightly. This certainly is her from last night, and that relieved me a bit. That sight of her standing below the sunlight was shining brilliantly like a sacred goddess. Do you remember what happened last night? Hikaru, yes. Of course I won't forget it. The promise. Right? Rufria said this and blushed even more. Looks like she thought I was talking about leaving the thanks for later. By the way, I did postpone her reward to a later time, but I am not so shameless as to think about taking it. I'm being watched by all of humanity. Even if it is for the sake of aiming for first place, that's a line I must not cross. I don't care how much I myself get hurt, but I don't want to reveal this pure person and dirty her for my own gain. Even at this very moment and from here on, Just by being together with me, she is being watched by millions of people without her knowing, and here I am, using her despite that. If I were to tell her that, she would be conscious about her being watched. There's a high chance she would refuse to come along with me. That's why I am purposely keeping it from her. Once these 2 weeks are over, I will repent in any way. I don't think that will absolve me from my sin, but even with that, I want Nanami to come back. I am talking about going to the dungeon together. I really am a beginner. Please teach me a lot. Hikaru. Yeah, of course, leave it to me. Rifria. Then, let's go. Is the second floor okay? Hikaru. When I was about to walk, she went wait and stopped me. We have to show up at the guild first. Rifria. Guild? Hikaru. Hikaru. You really were a side gator, huh? Rifria. By side gator, it meant people that would do business without the qualifications. In other words, it refers to me who sneaked into the dungeon every single time using darkness, and would sell what I got to the black market. I can't even argue this. In the first place, Rifria knows that I have been doing deals with the black market. Sorry, I don't even know what a guild is. What's that facility for? Hikaru. It is the dungeon management department. The explorers take requests from the guild to subjugate monsters and obtain spirit stones. You have to properly register as an explorer and apply when you are diving into the dungeon or they won't let you in, you know? Rifria. I see. I didn't know. I was always sneaking in. Ha ha ha. Hikaru. This may not be a laughing matter, but I can only laugh here. Well, it is fine since it is me. But it is better not to tell others, okay? You would get apprehended at worst after all. Rifria. Looks like I was doing something pretty dangerous there. Well, let's just think about it as something that has already passed. And so, can I also register as an explorer? I am living in a cheap inn and don't have an address or anything. Hikaru. As long as you are not a heinous criminal, anyone can do it. You will start at the lowest rank. But well, as long as you get spirit stones, it will be increasing anyways. Being an ability user of your caliber, you will be able to go up to at least gnome rank. Rifria. Gnome rank? What rank are you, Rifria? Hikaru. I am currently Sylvester rank, 1 rank below gnome rank. Rifria. Saying this, she brought out a silver ID from her pocket, and showed it to me. It is a pretty hard to remember name, but you can tell them apart from the material of the ID, so it doesn't seem that complicated. The dungeon management department is around a 3 minutes walk from the dungeon, so we managed to reach this so-called guild real soon. The guild is close to the dungeon, a sturdy facility made of stone, and the spacious lobby had rowdy people that are most likely explorers walking around. When Rifria came in, the gazes of the men gathered on her, and even I felt them at the back of her. I see. Of course she wouldn't feel like searching for party members here. Ooh, Rifria-chan. What's with that brat there? Did you pick up a member of the club? A man that screamed ruffian spoke to Rifria. She must have a history as an explorer, so obviously she would have explorers speaking to her. Rifria stops her feet. No. He is my party member. I won't let you be rude. Rifria. Huh? This brat is going to party with a silver rank? Oi, brat, what's your rank? The man was riled up at what Rifria said. I can tell that the people listening in on this were directing their attention at us. Oi. I didn't expect a cliched development like this would actually happen. Well, Rifria must have been someone that stood out even in the guild to a degree that other explorers would have their attention on her. She is an extraordinary beauty, and her weapon is big, so she stands out. She is the complete opposite of me. Anyways, this development is delicious for the viewers. Even if I were to get beaten up here, I would still be winning. I whispered to Rifria, I will deal with this, so don't say anything, and answered the man. Chapter 50-51, Guild and Links Mutual Aid Association. I will be registering now, so I will be at the very bottom. I am a beginner after all. Hikaru. So you really are in the club. What, are you the little brother of Rifria-chan or something? Well, something like that. And so, what's this club thing you are talking about? Hikaru, clubs are what the newbies who swing around their clubs in the first floor are called. Not to be rude here, brat, but you should first learn how to dance with skeletons in the first floor. In the dungeon, the ones who don't know their limits are the ones who die first after all. I thought he was a problematic ruffian, but he was actually a normal old man that gave good advice. I have seen several dead bodies of explorers in the second floor who didn't understand their own limits. People who didn't have the combat capabilities to go to the second floor yet. Ones that came down alone. Ones that get lost. That's why this senior must be keeping an eye out for those newbies so that it doesn't end up that way. Polish your skills in the first floor, gather party members, do the pertaining preparations, and then go to the second floor. At first, only explore the vicinity of the stairs, and after exploring moderately, return. If you can't do that, you are not fit to be an explorer. Thank you very much. I plan on getting a club after. Big sis here is simply guiding me here. She is a worrywart after all. Hikaru, it is good that you are obedient. Well, do your best to not trouble your sister, Rifria-chan as well. If you change your mind, party with us. The man left with a hearty laugh. If he really was a problematic ruffian, I would have been fine with playing a fist fight. But he was just a good guy. Well, thinking about it logically, there aren't that many people who would cause problems in the very facility. Hikaru. What was that just now? Rifria. But it seems Rifria wasn't too pleased about this. Well, it wasn't manly after all. It is true that I am a beginner, right? I normally would have to begin by swinging around a club. If not for you, Rifria, I did plan on doing that. Hikaru, you being my little brother. Rifria, lies are instruments. Those types of people just want to get involved. So it is pointless to take them seriously. Also, it doesn't look like he was a bad guy or anything. Hikaru, I do understand that, but... Rifria locked arms with me conspicuously and led me to the counter. Well, a brother and sister can lock arms. The explanation at the guild counter was really businesslike. I ignored Rifria, who was sticking to me the whole time with arms locked, and properly listened. I won't lose to the questioning look of the guild staff member either. Explorers begin from the Spiritus rank. In numbers, it would be the 6th one. The ID is bronze. I have picked bronze IDs countless times in the second floor from the dead explorers. To think I would be having one myself. First rank, Salamander rank. Scorching Steel, Salamander Idaho. Second rank, Undyne rank. Magic Metal, Mithril Idaho. Third rank, Gnome rank. Gold ID. Fourth rank, Sylvester rank. Silver ID. Fifth rank, Dryad rank. Ebony ID. 6th rank, Spiritus rank. Bronze ID. So damn cool. By the way, the highest ranked explorer in this city is an Undyne rank. I wasn't that interested in the guild, but it does give me the desire to work a bit hard, so I can't help but say this is a good job. From management, I can feel the wiles of making the explorers stake their lives here. It seems there's a drill course for beginners as well. It is something that teaches the bearing of an explorer in the first floor to the ones that have the free time. But Rifria said we will be doing that on our own. So it is okay and refused. Well, it is true that there's no need to waste time on that if Rifria is going to be teaching me. Also, at the end of the explanation, they told me pretty strictly don't put a hand on the gems that others have found no matter what. Looks like the talk about a divine beast showing up when stealing treasures is pretty serious business. Let's be careful. After that, I applied to dive into the dungeon, and bought the necessary things in the guild. Torches, food, drinks, potions, clean cloths, gauzes, etc. etc. It is honestly not necessary for me. But since there's the chance, I bought them as well. The potions apparently can only heal small wounds. Are they the same as the one crystal potions? Ah. It is okay for the battle members to be you and me. But what do we do about the scout? Rifria, scout, huh? Hikaru, being asked this by Rifria. I was about to answer we don't need one, but now that I think about it, if we are going to be forming a party, I can't be complacent. I don't know how a pro scout works. Can you hire them here? Hikaru, no. It is at the neighboring facility. Rifria, I enter the old building right by the side of the guild on the guidance of Rifria. The entrance said Lynx Mutual Aid Association. All the ones inside were catfolk. The cat beastkins are apparently called lynx. That must be the name of their race. There's a number of rules when hiring a lynx scout. First, the deposit. This must be paid in advance. Scouts, because of the nature of their job, they tend to get killed by monsters. And so, the deposit for hiring them is the price of their life. Rifria. In the case when the scout dies in the dungeon, the payment will of course not return. It really must be taken as the price for their life in that sense as well. I see. There's no knowing what happens in the dungeon. Hikaru. Yeah, there's even parties that use scouts as bait to escape after all. Rifria. I feel like a lynx would be better at running away though. Hikaru. There's a lot of them who get their legs injured. Rifria. The injuries really were a problem. I don't think they will get their legs injured that much in the current second floor though. There's shameless people like the ones that abandoned Grateful. By the way, the deposit was surprisingly low. Only 5 silver coins. It is a number that speaks eloquently about the standing of lynx in this city. Can you request a specific lynx scout? Hikaru. It should be possible, but I can't tell them apart. You can, Hikaru? Rifria. Of course. Their faces and fur are completely different. Hikaru. I spoke to the one that was rolling around on the sofa filled with holes. Grateful. I want to hire you. Hikaru. Naya. Who are you, Anai-san? Despite my looks, I can dive all the way to the 3rd floor, so I am a bit expensive. Yanayo? Grateful. Then, how about a freebie, for the potion of the 4? Hikaru. When I said this with a grin, Grateful's tail stood on end and she jumped up. The Anai-san from that time. To think you would show up, Naya. I am really grateful for you helping me at that time. Grateful. I actually didn't plan on showing up though. But the situation has changed. Will you be our scout? Hikaru. If you are fine with someone like me, Naya, gladly. I will prepare at once, Nyan. Grateful. Grateful runs up the stairs as if bouncing. If I am going to be hiring someone, it is better for it to be someone I know. Chapter 5:1, Grateful and Dazzling Hikaru. You know that lynx? Rifria. Yeah. When she had injured her leg before and was left to death, I simply escorted her to the entrance. Hikaru. So you were saving other girls aside from me? Rifria. I obviously can't ignore her when she is crying na in the middle of the 2nd floor. Hikaru. Hikaru is kind after all. Rifria. Not really. That's normal. Hikaru. I sweep away the mysterious jealousy of Rifria, and try asking something that bothered me. By the way, why are lynx doing exploration on a hiring system? Is there a reason why they don't do it like other people? Hikaru. I should be the one to answer that question, Naya. Grateful, who came down from the stairs, jumped into our conversation. Her perked up ears were quite the outstanding ears. I see, it really does suit a scout. We are required to explain the history of lynx to first-time parties, Naya. Raising the social status of the lynx in this way, even if only for a little bit, is the motto of the Mutual Aid Association, Nyan. Grateful explains while going Nyan. It seems lynx are a race that can be found all over the world, but their eyes work in the dark, have good ears, are fast, and can walk without making a sound, so most of them were thieves or pickpockets. And so, there were even cases when the links would have the blame pinned on them, and were slowly being cornered into a position of discrimination. Links have a fatal racial weakness. They are far more powerless than other races. Nyan. Grateful, that's why you can only carry a thin blade like that? Hikaru. I can barely swing this one too though. Grateful. It is true that lacking physical strength is fatal. Not being able to fight against violence is a decisive factor to label a race as weak. It might be different if there were guns, but this is exacerbated by the fact that this world revolves around the strong. That's why you have no choice but to raise your tier by diving in the dungeon. Ha! Hikaru, no, that's not it. We can't fight, so we can't even raise our tier. Not only goblins, we can't even win against skeletons. Naya. Grateful. Then, what do you do? Hikaru. We are scouts. Our job is to go check things out for a bit and be careful. Naya. Grateful. You can't get stronger like that. Hikaru. That's fine like that for now. We save coin, make a contract with a great spirit Sama, and that's when a lynx can finally become an explorer. Grateful. I see. So the gun of a lynx is spirit abilities. Looking at her equipment, I can tell that she doesn't have any monetary leeway. The deposit is 5 silver coins, but that's the payment that the mutual aid association gets, and obviously, a dead lynx can't get it. The share she gets for 1 day of employment is 1 small silver coin. If it is diving to the 3rd floor, it takes 5 small silver coins, and the 4th floor goes up to 2 silver coins, but the danger spikes. In the first place, if the party they follow wipes out, the lynx accompanying them won't be able to survive. And so, making a contract with a great spirit takes a lot of money? Hikaru. 1 gold coin. Nyan. Grateful, it costs that much? Hikaru. 1 gold coin? That's massive. It is a price that requires 40 or 50 silver coins. That's not an amount that a lynx can save when they only earn 1 small silver coin for a day of work. Wait a moment. Grateful-chan. Right? Making a contract with a great spirit Sama costing 1 gold coin is just... There's no way it costs that much. Even making a contract with a light great spirit Sama goes for 10 silver coins, you know? The great spirit Samas in this city shouldn't go for more than 5 silver coins. Refria, lynx get a special price. Nyan. Grateful, A. Refria. The church is the one that places the price for making contracts with great spirits. In other words, it is an asking price. For humans it is cheap, but for demi-humans it is expensive. It seems like stuff like that is done as if it's normal. I understand the situation of the lynx now. I will make it so you can earn a decent amount when you are in our party, so don't worry. Hikaru, right. To think it would be 1 gold coin. That's definitely weird. Refria, I look forward to working with you. Naya. Wait. We are diving with just us 3? Grateful. Once we went out, Grateful stood in place and asked this. Well, a party of 3 people is indeed low. That's right. Well, it should be alright. Hikaru. Yeah, we are just going to the 2nd floor after all. Refria. The positive Refria. I am not optimistic here, but even so, I judge that there won't be problems if it is the 2nd floor. What's worrying me here is the teamwork. If we can't even explore the 2nd floor, we can't dive into the dungeon to begin with. At worst, I can cover everything with darkness fog to escape from any enemy. And I still have 1 barrier stone. Ogres and mantis are a threat, but as long as they don't get us by surprise, there should be no problems. Also, I do feel like we have to be slightly reckless or the viewers won't increase. It is rare for there to only be 3 while including a scout, so I just wanted to confirm. Nyan. Your abilities were impressive, Anai-san, and Refria-san is famous, so there shouldn't be any problems. Nyan. Grateful, so you really are famous, Refria. Hikaru. The dazzling Refria is a name that shows up in the chats of other parties pretty often. We Lynx don't understand the sense of beauty of humans though. Everyone is saying they want to go out with her or marry her now. Grateful, that's impressive, Rifria. Hikaru. Is it like the local idol? If they were to learn that she is forming a party with me, won't they straight harass me? I thought the sense of beauty from this world would be different from Earth, but it seems like beauty is still beauty. So they are talking about me like that. That's scary. I need Hikaru to protect me. Rifria. The strength Rifria was using in our locked arms increased. Or more like, we have been like this since coming out from the guild. Is this okay? Won't this settle? We are going to be harassed? They have been glancing at us quite a lot even at this point in time. Protect, you say? You are stronger than me, Rifria. Hikaru. If it is a fight without abilities, then I would be stronger, but you are not going to protect me? Rifria. An upward glance from point-blank range. It really might be true that Rifria wasn't drunk at that time. The close distance of yesterday is still the same today. I will protect you, at the very least, in the time when you are together with me. I will definitely protect you. Hikaru. Tilda. I was sure you would say that, Hikaru. Rifria. Naya Naya Naya. I smell the scent of love Naya. Are you two going out Nyan? Grateful, that's not it. Hikaru. Rifria was so clingy here that it can't be helped that Grateful would think this way. If I hadn't gotten used to my little sisters wrapping their arms on both of my arms, this would have been dangerous. Rather than calling it love, it is more like a spoiled child. Also, it seems I am being called with a nickname like Dazzling, but I am not strong enough to fit that title, so Grateful-chan, try to correct the people if you can manage to, okay? Rifria. So she has a nickname. If I party with Rifria, maybe they will call me the parasite Hikaru. What does dazzling mean? Hikaru. Is it the gorgeous meaning? You could even call it bad-mouthing, but that's just me being Japanese. Dazzling is the nickname of my sword master. My battle style is the same, so I'm being called that. But master is a salamander rank, so I can't even compare. Rifria. I see. That was a beautiful battle style after all. I kinda understand. Hikaru. That figure of hers fighting while using her whole body to swing that big sword was beautiful, as if she were dancing. That fighting style was truly dazzling. There's also the beauty of Rifria herself, but she shone even more inside the dark and humid dungeon. Beautiful, you say? Right, you were watching me fight, Hikaru. Rifria. I was so fascinated with it that I ended up getting delayed in saving you. Hikaru. I see, so you were watching in fascination. Then, maybe I have gotten closer to master? Rifria. Yeah, it certainly was dazzling. Hikaru. Hee. I am happy. Rifria. Naya. The scent of love Naya. Grateful. Anyways, we have gathered the numbers. The viewers have increased far more than I imagined. I knew it. I really did have a lot of hidden viewers. I have easily gone to the 100 millions once I stopped hiding in the darkness. I will take first place with this party. For sure. Chapter 052-053, to the dungeon and confirmation of battle power. At the entrance of the dungeon, we showed the permit issued by the guild to one of the 4 gatekeepers, and entered. If we move carefully in the first floor, we can avoid battling monsters without having to use darkness fog, and reach the second floor. Of course, it is fine to fight. For now, let's confirm our battle power. Also, how we are going to be fighting together. Hikaru. If this were a brute force party of 3 warriors, it might have been a different story, but it is completely different here. The dark spirit user who has direct combat power capabilities. The strong warrior that waves around a great sword and can use light spirit abilities. A scout that can't fight. That's the party composition. In other words, in terms of damage, we will be mostly relying on Rifria. For now, we will have Grateful find enemies, I will distract them, and Rifria defeats them. Something along those lines I guess. Hikaru. I don't really mind that. But what do we do about the spirit abilities? Refria. What light spirit abilities do you have? Hikaru. When I asked this, she hung her head down slightly and muttered, I can only use two, the light I saw before. And what about the other one? Hikaru. Cure Glow. An ability that heals wounds. Refria. Nice. Hikaru. Having healing abilities is a great help. We won't be able to avoid small wounds, so there would be no end if I had to buy potions with crystals at every instance. Now that I think about it, my abilities are dark element. Is it going to be okay? Hikaru. Okay. As in what? Refria. I heard that the people around here don't use that, you see. Hikaru. I don't really get what you are trying to ask me here. But there's no way there would be a problem in using the abilities which are the divine blessing of a great spirit Sama, you know? It is true that there aren't many dark spirit users, but that's only because there's no church of the great dark spirit Sama here. Refria. I see. That's fine then. Hikaru. I am relieved. It is darkness, so I thought they had a bad reputation. But it seems like all great spirits of any element are respected. Also, can I ask how many abilities you can use, Hikaru? Could it be that you can use all the way to the fifth one? No way that's the case, huh? Refria. I can use 8. Hikaru. E8. Refria. Refria raised a shocked voice. Well, all elements most likely have 8. The last special ability I learned was from the dark element. Well, the 8th is a bit special, so I can't use it much though. Hikaru. Wait a moment please, did I hear correctly? Not 7 but 8? Refria. Was it foolish to be honest here? No. We will be fighting with our lives on the line here, so hiding our cards is not good. 8. But there aren't many offensive abilities in my dark spirit abilities, so I might not be able to match your expectations. Hikaru. No. I saw you using a number of abilities at that time, so I knew that you were an amazing ability user. But 8, huh? Refria. Refria was practically absent-minded here. She is a light Templar apprentice and even she can only use 2. So 8 might be outside the common. Looks like this is information that I shouldn't be divulging much. Is 8 that rare? Hikaru. Rather than rare. Even the highest of ability users can only use 7. The great spirit Samas say there's an 8th, so there must be, but it is practically a legend. That's the kind of perception it has. I myself thought it wasn't possible for a human to use it. Refria. I see. Looks like it would be better to keep the 8th a secret. Hikaru. Whichever the case, the 8th one is summoning undead, which gives off a pretty dangerous scent. If I were to use it, it might create unnecessary misunderstandings. It is on a different spectrum from the normal summoning ability that is Summon Night Bug, or like, the potency is just different. I will say this beforehand to avoid any misunderstandings, but my abilities itself are low tier. I may have a lot, but they aren't that big of a deal. Only Darkness Fog. The one that brings Dark Fog is a bit high in tier, but the others are just 1 or 2. Hikaru. Tiers. They are going up? The abilities? Refria. Well, yeah. Hikaru. Did I say something weird here? It works with proficiency, so of course it would go up if you use them. This is just for reference, but what's the tier of that highest ability? Refria. 4. Hikaru. FFFFFF4? Refria. Refria raises an even louder voice of disbelief. It is pretty hard to raise once it reaches this level, and even though Darkness Fog is an ability I use pretty often, it hasn't reached tier 5. By 4, does that mean that it has become a higher ability? Refria. Yeah. It turned from Dark Mist to Darkness Fog when it reached 3. When it was Mist, I think you could faintly see from the outside, but Fog is practically complete darkness, so it became easier to use. Hikaru. Heartilda. That's impressive, Hikaru. Is this what's called a genius? As for me, I can only use 2, and they are both still in Tier 1. Refria. It isn't really that big of a deal though. Hikaru. These are my honest thoughts. I even feel bad about it. I am by no means a genius. I am simply getting the benefits of the skills I received from God. In the eyes of the natives, this would literally be a cheat. By the way, the current status of my dark spirit abilities are like this. Dark spirit ability, Tier 1 ability Falsehood of Darkness, Shade Shift, Proficiency 62 Casket of Darkness, Shadow Bind, Proficiency 49 Call of Darkness, Summon, Night Bug, Proficiency 55 Tier 2 ability View of Darkness, Dark Vision, Proficiency 82 Transformation of Darkness, Shadow Runner, Proficiency 76 Deposition of Darkness, Shadow Bag, Proficiency 69 Tier 4 ability Revelation of Darkness, Darkness Fog, Proficiency 43 Special Technique Return of Darkness, Create, Undead, Proficiency 1. My proficiency isn't going up as fast as I want it to. I understand Darkness Fog being hard to increase because it is Tier 4, but I have been using Shadow Bind and Summon Night Bug, and yet, they are still at 1. The proficiency of abilities you learn later are most likely harder to raise. However, the 3 abilities that are in Tier 2 are close to Tier 3. Just like how Dark Mist became Darkness Fog, there should be a change to a higher ability. And so, Hikaru. How many can you use in a day? Refria. I have never counted it, but I think I am fine using them for around 100 times. Are you okay? You look pale. Hikaru. Her white face grew even whiter, and her lips were trembling. I am also aware that my number of uses is slightly weird. Hikaru, you are a loved one? Refria, loved. What's that? Hikaru. I would say I am a hated one. I am by no means something embarrassing like a loved one. Alright. There's no way you would be a loved one. Then that means you have incredible spirit ability talent. Wow. Refria, I must have the affinity. The spirits have been helping me out a lot. Hikaru, I managed to escape from that forest exactly because of this affinity. The thing called the affection of spirits. Even so, I couldn't use spirit abilities consecutively on the day, so it was most likely a combination of it being night and the dungeon. Especially in the second floor that's darker than the first, darkness has quite a lot of advantages. Now then, let's wrap up the talk here. Let's adjust our battle style in actual combat. Let's begin with goblins or orcs first. Hikaru, no matter how much we talk with words, it is not like we have fought together. We won't be able to tell unless we do it. We will secure a margin of safety. But there's the need for a certain degree of boldness that should be more enjoyable for the viewers. Chapter 5-3 Party Exploration and the Specialty of Darkness. 2 ogres, both with weapons. Can you do it, Naya? Grateful came back from her scouting. Ogres are the strongest monsters of the second floor if we exclude the mantis. Moreover, having weapons makes them even stronger. Refria, can you defeat them if it were one-on-one? Hikaru, I can. Refria, alright. Then, I will own to you. Darkness Fog. Hikaru. I blend into the darkness, approach them, and sink one into the darkness. The monsters that get swallowed in darkness take time to process what's happening, so you can incapacitate them for a while. In that time, I lure the other one with Shadow Runner to Refria. Summon Night Bug. Hikaru. I have been fighting while trying to use Call of Darkness as much as possible. This is the only ability I have that can deal direct damage. It can deal a decent amount of damage even against an ogre. The ogre was being bitten away by the bugs inside the darkness, and it was swinging around its weapon wildly. It is not something I would want to approach directly. I have gotten physical strength level 1. And my body can move a whole lot better as if I had become someone else. The dagger feels light now. I am sure my individual strength has increased to incomparable levels to before. Even so, taking an attack of an ogre with a dagger, It isn't impossible, but it is an action that has barely any safety to it. It would be better to leave the final hit to Rifria. Rifria is swinging her crazy big sword and is slashing the ogre. A big sword with the length of the blade being 120 centimeters and width being 20 centimeters. She was swinging the gigantic sword. That would take my all to even lift up, freely. Shadow bind. Hikaru, in this situation where Rifria was in the superior position, dark tentacles create a slight opening. The ogre had its limbs tied up and lost its balance. With just that alone, Rifria managed to easily cut its head off. For the second floor monsters that are mostly humanoid, shadow bind is practically fatal. Looks like Rifria still has leeway here. Counting on you, Rifria. Hikaru, okay. Rifria, I move the darkness fog and bring the remaining ogre out from the darkness. Rifria dashed there as we previously arranged and she ended the ogre with a sweeping slash. The ogre that came out from the darkness couldn't deal with the slash. More so when it was being annoyed by night bugs. All right, good work. Are you injured, Rifria? Hikaru, no. It was mostly one-sided after all. Rifria, then, let's go to the next one. Hikaru, we did several more battles after that. Honestly speaking, with these members, hunting in the second floor is relatively easy. We probably should be challenging the third and fourth floor. But this is our first day. We decided on adjusting our teamwork between party members in the second floor. Thinking about the viewers, I should be living more on the edge. Show battles of life or death. But I can't just suddenly push Rifria and Grateful into danger. The viewer count race lasts 2 weeks. Aren't you tired, Hikaru? You have been casting abilities one after the other. Rifria, not at all. I am only using 3 to 4 per battle after all. Hikaru, wow. Rifria, also, if I don't use them, my proficiency won't increase. When the time requires it, I will use crystals to buy spirit energy potions. More importantly, right now it is battling. Gotta earn money, and the way to get viewers fast really is battling. The reality is that the viewer count is increasing more and more, and it is maintaining 300 million people. But it is lacking when it comes to taking first place. My closest objective right now is 1 billion viewers. There's a group of orcs there. 8. Half-half with weapons and barehanded. Grateful. Alright, let's do this. Hikaru. I unsheathe my dagger. When fighting groups of orcs and goblins, we managed with almost the same strategy. Or more like, orcs and goblins are enemies that Rifria can obviously defeat without any problems, but I as well can. I hide myself with darkness fog and run. I keep only the enemies. Rifria is fighting outside of the darkness, and we defeat them in order. I hunt the lives of the orcs that I dragged into the darkness and were confused, one by one with my dagger. With the effects of physical strength doing its work too, I swung my dagger crisply and systematically. Rifria also has no problems dealing with something like orcs. They are being cut down like paper with just one stroke. We managed to wipe out a group of 8 in basically 1 minute. It is going well. Fool's enemy detection is also meshing well. Hikaru. Yeah, she is pretty skilled. Rifria. I haven't worked together with the Lynx before, but if Rifria, who has hired many scouts before, says so, then it must be true. This is a connection I managed to make, so I want Grateful to become a full-fledged explorer. There's one orc there. Want to ignore it, Naya? Grateful. Want to try defeating it, Full? Hikaru. But an orc is too much for me. Grateful. It is okay. I will assist you. Hikaru. You can take in the spirit energy of monsters you defeat in the dungeon and power yourself up. But no matter if it is in a party, this only applies to the one that defeated the monster. In other words, a scout doesn't ever get stronger because they don't fight after all. There's one orc around the corner. Fortunately, it is a bare-handed one. An orc without a weapon is a monster that is below a goblin that has a weapon. Honestly speaking, it is a monster that's just right for training. I will assist you here, so just go straight for the neck with that sword. Darkness fog. Hikaru, I guide grateful as we advance in the darkness. The orc couldn't understand what was going on and was crying Pookie Pookie the whole time. We move to the back of the orc and adjust the aim to the spine of the orc with the blade of grateful. Here, stab with all your strength. Hikaru, Naya. Grateful. The blade was stabbed into the base of the neck of the monster with one smooth motion and the orc turned into a spirit stone. I undo darkness fog. Good job. Looks like we will be able to increase your level like this too. Full. Hikaru, something is entering my body Naya. Is this spirit energy? Grateful, that's right. Well, I don't think there will be much change with one orc, but I am sure it will be different as you stack the numbers. Hikaru, honestly speaking, I myself don't feel much change in this tier increase thing. No, there's some slight feeling of it, but it is hard to tell whether this is because I am getting used to fighting or because of the leveling up. According to the status board, it is still 1 p.m. After eating some preserved food, we continued fighting. The number of viewers is definitely increasing. I can do this. Chapter 054. Exclusive chosen bulletin board JPN, number 1000, Kurose Hikaru, 2581st 46. Anonymous from Earth. Isn't Rafria seriously beautiful? Eh? Really? Was she always this beautiful? -47. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is also getting completely affected by it too, lol. -48. Anonymous from Earth. No. Isn't this her going all in on her makeup? -49. Anonymous from Earth. The glossiness in her hair has also increased. -50. Anonymous from Earth. This brightness is way too rough for Alona. -51. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru has suddenly lost the ability to commentate. -52. Anonymous from Earth. They really are going to the guild. Finally, Hikaru is going to do his guild debut. It has been long. -53. Anonymous from Earth. The busybody old man. The busybody old man that lunged onto Alex too. -54. Anonymous from Earth. I laughed out loud at how Hikaru easily brushed the busybody old man away. -55. Anonymous from Earth. That old man is apparently still in his 20s. -56. Anonymous from Earth. The locking arms of Rafria Sama. That's a virgin killer distance. -57. Anonymous from Earth. I simply wanted a life where a beautiful lady like that would cling to me. -58. Anonymous from Earth. Celica, distance, idiot. Karen, idiot distance. 59. Anonymous from Earth. But the steel armor gets in the way. It doesn't feel like there would be any of the tastiness of locking arms from that. -60. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru, hard. 61. Anonymous from Earth. I thought the twins would go crazier from the existence of Rafria-san, but they aren't speaking about it too much. Why? -62. Anonymous from Earth. Celica has countless times, stuff like, Anai-chan can't answer her feelings because of his kindness or the current Anai-chan needs her. Celica is so calculative it is scary. -63. Anonymous from Earth. Celica acts lover-struck for fashion after all. -64. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru finally goes to an actual guild. It has been long. -65. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru isn't an actual outlaw type after all. -66. Anonymous from Earth. Isn't the first one you meet in a parallel world the heroine? -67. Anonymous from Earth. Isn't the black market old man worrying, saying, that guy hasn't been coming recently? -68. Anonymous from Earth. You can properly communicate, Hikaru. Or more like, there's a lot more chosen who have a hard time communicating. -69. Anonymous from Earth. Even for Alex, he was super nervous at first. No. You could even say he was shaking on his boots. -70. Anonymous from Earth. He is the brother of those twins, so maybe his specs were high? minus 71. Anonymous from Earth. Rather than him being the brother of those twins, isn't it more like this being because he was thrown about by those twins? Minus 72. Anonymous from Earth. They said their brother was practically more of their parent than their actual ones, so it really must be like that. Minus 73. Anonymous from Earth. The brother that goes around apologizing in place of their parents for the shenanigans that his two little sisters cause when they go wild. Minus 74. Anonymous from Earth. The conversation of those two at that time. We troubled Anna-chan for all those instances, but well, we were young, you see. Right. 75. Anonymous from Earth. What a terrible way of deviating the blame, lol. Minus 76. Anonymous from Earth. Well, it is true that elementary schoolers do mess up. It is the parents' fault for not properly managing that. Minus 77. Anonymous from Earth. I don't know the details, but from the information we can see, don't the parents give a scent of poison? Minus 78. Anonymous from Earth. Celica said cheerfully, no talk about our parents. 79. Anonymous from Earth. Scary. Minus 80. Anonymous from Earth. There's no talk about the family of Hikaru in the talk shows either. After all, there's rumors that Celica is pulling the strings in the back. Minus 81. Anonymous from Earth. Don't probe too much. You are gonna get erased. Minus 82. Anonymous from Earth. By Club. Is it the stuff that Alex was doing at first? Minus 83. Anonymous from Earth. It reminds me of the old and golden times of MMORPG beginnings, so I actually like that in its own way. I would have liked to see the club phase of Hikaru. Minus 84. Anonymous from Earth. I want to become a member of the club and raise my level. Swinging a club of that size alone seems pretty tiring. Minus 85. Anonymous from Earth. I watched all the VODs of Alex, and there really are only skeletons in the first floor. Minus 86. Anonymous from Earth. There's a strange amount of variety though. Those with weapons, dogs, horses. Within those, the huge skeleton soldier is actual bad news. Minus 87. Anonymous from Earth. The weakness of skeletons is blunt weapons, so they aren't that strong, but they are resistant to slashes and spirit abilities aren't that effective. They may be small fry, but they are troublesome small fry. Minus 88. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru wasn't fazed at all when seeing the skeletons, but Alex was pretty scared. Going, be bones. Skeletons are moving. Thinking about it calmly, bones moving is the stuff of nightmares. Minus 89. Anonymous from Earth. Alex's, do ghosts show up too? Made me feel things I can't describe. Minus 90. Anonymous from Earth. A 15-year-old is still a child, you know. Minus 91. Anonymous from Earth. It is a world where ghosts actually exist after all. Won't he freeze to the bone when he sees a raw zombie? Minus 92. Anonymous from Earth. There's chosen who get lively when fighting zombies though. Minus 93. Anonymous from Earth. What's this about raw zombie? Minus 94. Anonymous from Earth must be talking about a fresh zombie. Minus 95. Anonymous from Earth. Didn't Karen talk about the mechanic in which zombies appear? Minus 96. Anonymous from Earth. 95. In that world, when people die, the spirit energy circulating in the body gathers into the life thread. And then, if you leave the corpse as it is, the spirit stone in the body will once again circulate into the body, and become an extempore monster. That's a zombie. That's why, when a person or whatever dies, you have to take out their spirit stone. 97. Anonymous from Earth. Does the create undead of Hikaru cause this mechanism? Minus 98. Anonymous from Earth. It would be one thing if it needed a corpse, but Hikaru only needs the stone. It can recreate the body. Minus 99. Anonymous from Earth. You need dark spirit stones or chaotic spirit stones in order to make undead, right? Meaning that if you stack a lot, you can have a personal army? Minus 100. Anonymous from Earth. It depends on how much spirit energy the ability uses. There's also spirit energy potions, so it should be possible by logic. -101. Anonymous from Earth as expected of the Great Dark Mage. Dangerous. -102. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru being happy when he got the bronze rank tag. Nice. -103. Anonymous from Earth. Ooh, looks like he is going to hire a scout. -104. Anonymous from Earth. Grateful Chan is here. -105. Anonymous from Earth. So cute. Cat. A cat walking on two legs. -106. Anonymous from Earth. Damn it, they all have fruit-like names. -107. Anonymous from Earth. Alex has hired a number of them before, but he doesn't remember the names of the links at all. He calls them all links and can't tell them apart. -108. Anonymous from Earth. When they are of the same species, I probably wouldn't be able to tell them apart either. Their equipment is pretty similar too. -109. Anonymous from Earth is Pineapple Chan, who Alex hired before, the sister of Grateful. -110. Anonymous from Earth. It seems like the links of other regions have the tendency to give similar names, so there's no knowing if they are related. We have a hell ton of people with the same name here. -111. Anonymous from Earth. True. -112. Anonymous from Earth. The long-haired black and white cat, Pararambutan-chan, is the one that's most to my taste. -113. Anonymous from Earth. Pararambutan-chan is one pretty cat after all. -114. Anonymous from Earth. The furries came out from the woodwork. -115. Anonymous from Earth. I want Hikaru to spend more time in the Links Mutual Aid Association and increase his acquaintances. The Mutual Aid Association has a lot of potential. -116. Anonymous from Earth. Finally the dungeon. Huh. The entrance is gigantic no matter how many times I see it. -117. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is more normal than I thought. I thought he would be showing his introverted side like crazy here. -118. Anonymous from Earth. Anna-chan would make really painful expressions every now and then. Celica said, but I can't really tell where they are pained. Does that mean he is showing a poker face? -119. Anonymous from Earth. His family should be able to tell those minute differences. -120. Anonymous from Earth. Despite being with a super beauty like Rifria-sama, he isn't going all love-struck, and he did look like his face was pale white and barely smiling. -121. Anonymous from Earth. An introvert tries to match an extrovert when in their presence. There's no way he isn't pushing himself here. -122. Anonymous from Earth. You could even say he was more relaxed inside the dungeon. -123. Anonymous from Earth. I thought I knew when I saw him hunting monsters alone, but Hikaru really is strong. -124. Anonymous from Earth. The clearer the roles in a party, the more stable they are. Even without a tank, the dark spirit abilities are substituting for it plenty well. -125. Anonymous from Earth. It is invincible against any opponent aside from the ones that have night vision and the ones that don't rely on eyesight. -126. Anonymous from Earth. It is weak against light spirit abilities though. -127. Anonymous from Earth. It would probably be able to totally crush any normal human. Even Rifria-sama is getting pretty surprised here. -128. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-chan is pretty abnormally strong herself though. Is that even a sword? It is more of an iron pillar. -129. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-san said she was a light Templar apprentice, but she barely has any abilities. -130. Anonymous from Earth. She is a musclehead after all. -131. Anonymous from Earth. No, in the first place, you normally can't shoot spirit abilities so damn often. Even the chosen that have taken the spirit energy up cheat are still only on the 5th ability. Rifria-sama is still 16 years old, so being able to use only 2 is normal. -132. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru is even helping full Chan level. He really is a fairy. 3. -133. Anonymous from Earth. She would only be dead weight if she were still level 1 after all. If only he could provide his dark vision to others. -134. Anonymous from Earth. Yeah, there's a lot of spirit abilities that only work on yourself. -135. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-sama is so cool, it is as if she is really dancing. -136. Anonymous from Earth. Stuff like orcs and goblins get blown away without having a chance at all. She has the potential of being peerless. -137. Anonymous from Earth. Do you become that strong when your tier increases? -138. Anonymous from Earth. That's right. It is monstrosification. In the case of humans, they become devils. -139. Anonymous from Earth. Are you telling me that the great dark mage Hikaru is eventually going to become a devil? -140. Anonymous from Earth. So cool. -141. Anonymous from Earth. He is using darkness fog like crazy, but does he understand that that's not that sweet for the viewers? Even though he wants to get the viewers, isn't what he is doing not optimal? -142. Anonymous from Earth. Anai-chan thinks that it is fine for him to not be shown if Rifria-san can be seen. It is true that Rifria-san is pretty, but, well, it is fine for him to use whatever he can use. I am fine with anything as long as Anai-chan is okay. Totally that. We will be throwing advertisements with Rifria-san as the main pull. Is apparently how it is. -143. Anonymous from Earth. The understanding of the twins is impressive. -144. Anonymous from Earth. Anyways, Rifria-sama and Hikaru are really strong. -145. Anonymous from Earth. He is the great dark mage after all. Rifria-sama is pretty surprised herself. You could even say she is confused here. -146. Anonymous from Earth. Rifria-chan looks like an adult yet is childish. So cute. -147. Anonymous from Earth. Grateful-chan is cuter. She grooms her face every now and then, and that's just so unbearably cute. -148. Anonymous from Earth. The furries overseas are super elated by this. -149. Anonymous from Earth. The hidden viewers of Hikaru really were high. Having more than 200 million in the first day is pretty impressive. -150. Anonymous from Earth. There aren't that many chosen who do dungeon exploration after all. That alone is enough to bring in the viewers. -151. Anonymous from Earth. More than half haven't changed their lifestyle even after the announcement of the viewer count race after all. I don't understand what standards God used to select the chosen, but they should have chosen better. -152. Anonymous from Earth. Well, we are just watching from a safe place and saying whatever we wish. It isn't easy to gather the attention of viewers in a reality show, you know? You really have to put your life on the line, and it is not assured that that will lead to an increase in viewers. -153. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru was flamed like crazy at first, so that probably is working in his favor now. -154. Anonymous from Earth. If Celica and Karen were to hear you saying that, you would be killed. -155. Anonymous from Earth. It is true that if not for that drama, he probably wouldn't have been able to aim for first place here. There's a deadline here, and even if he were to get more popular little by little till he gets to first place, he is definitely going to lose in total points against Jan Chan. -156, anonymous from Earth. Now that I think about it, even with the viewer count race, Jean-chan is still going at her own tune. Just what's going on in her head? -157, anonymous from Earth. She really is made of iron, the Iron Maiden. -158, anonymous from Earth. She is way too strong to be called La Pucelle. -160, anonymous from Earth. His biggest rival in this viewer count race will most likely be Jean-chan. Pigmentation that makes her feel like she is fleeting, the appearance of an elegant lady, and the rowdy equipment that doesn't match that appearance, and that strong mental strength that doesn't break, her intense battle power, and most of all, she looks good on camera. She really is a 1 in a 1,000. She is a hero. Don't know if the alliance of Hikaru plus Rafria plus Grateful will be able to win. -161, anonymous from Earth. Hikaru isn't hero material after all. -162, anonymous from Earth. Well, the viewer count race is technically a battle from our side as well. Celica and Karen most likely have a plan. -163, anonymous from Earth. They really are going in hard on the advertisement, as expected from deep pockets. -164, anonymous from Earth. In any case, it is still the first day. Looking forward to what happens from now on. Chapter 055 to 056, Launch and Blacksmith. Now then, a toast for our success in the exploration. We put an end to our exploration before night came, and went to the guild to sell our spirit stones. There were no chaotic spirit stones, but there were a decent amount of colored ones, and the earnings were decent too. It was a good amount for a day of earnings. By the way, I had Rafria do the selling while I hid outside. I don't want to be labeled as goldfish poop or a parasite. It would just be a pain. There's also the fact that I can't deal with crowded places. Is it okay to have me participate as well, Nyan? Grateful. Of course it is okay. Well, no alcohol for anyone though. Hikaru. I can't drink alcohol anyways, so I don't have problems with that. Grateful. With that previous drunk happening, Rafria and I are abstaining here. We are at the same place as before. The price is just right. The taste is good. The inside is dim, and it is good for my mental health. I wasn't sure if to actually celebrate here, but thinking about the viewers, it would be better to be together with Rafria and Grateful as much as possible to increase the viewers. I'm being hated. A person like that showing a fulfilling life might reduce my viewers. You normally wouldn't want to see the person you hate having a happy isekai life. But contrary to those feelings, my viewers have been going on the rise all this time since morning. Just like how the opposite of love is disinterest, hate can sometimes be a strong motivator. It is exactly because they hate me that they can't take their eyes off me. That's why you could say this view count is a hate meter. Also. Is it okay for me to get this much money, Naya? Grateful. No. That's only the share that you defeated. Full. Well, it is far from 1 gold, but take it. Hikaru, you are how kind, Naya. Normally, this amount would take 1 month to save, Naya. Grateful. That's only 4 small silver coins. Hikaru, today's earnings are 10 silver coins. Well, there's the fact that we hunted monsters at quite the high pace though. But you really are strong, Rafria. I admire you. Hikaru, I admire you, Hikaru. To think you would be able to use abilities so freely. Rafria, even if I can use abilities, I won't increase my tier if I don't defeat monsters. Hikaru, Rafria must have gotten stronger today. She has defeated more than 10 times what I did. She was originally far stronger than me, so the gap is increasing even more now. Then, we should buy a new weapon for you, Hikaru. Rafria, I want to, but I don't have the money. Hikaru, if you give out my name, it should be okay. A silver rank is trustworthy after all. Rafria, I would feel bad. Hikaru, I don't know why Rafria trusts me this much. but buying a weapon using the reputation of someone else is a bit. Things that could make money if I sold them. I do have those, but... Hikaru. Then, how about selling that? Rufria. No. Let's not. Well, I still want to check out a weapon store. Hikaru. The most expensive thing that can be sold in my belongings is the Mallow Moon Silver Flower. Even the item appraisal gave the expensive tag to it. It might even go for 1 gold. But it is not like I am troubled by money or my weapon currently, so I don't know if it would be okay to sell it. I don't have a connection that would allow me to sell that at the appropriate price either. I could sell the Spirit Stone of the Mantis, but that in itself can serve as a trump card. So I shouldn't get impatient here and sell it. Well, I do have around 10 silver coins, so maybe I can make an advance payment for a weapon I can wield with that? Hikaru. Ah, you had that much? Then you can buy one. Let's go tomorrow. The place where my weapon was made has really good skills. The price is just right too. Rufria. Eh? Not a mass-produced weapon but an ordered one? Hikaru. Obviously. I don't think there's a weapon that fits your fighting style in shops, you know? Rufria. Really? Hikaru. Whichever the case, it was already getting pretty hard to keep that dagger as my main weapon before it breaks and becomes unusable. I should order a new weapon. Then, we are going to the blacksmith tomorrow, right? I guess I should have my equipment repaired too. Rufria. What will you do, fool? We will be diving into the dungeon after the blacksmith, so I am thinking of employing you again. Hikaru. I am weak to mornings, so I will be sleeping Nyan. When you are going to be diving, call me Naya. Grateful. I see, she is a cat, so her sleeping time must be plentiful. Just me assuming though. Anyways, after deciding that, we parted ways, but the blacksmith, there's apparently a lot in the Great Fire Spirit territory, but what will it be like? The next day, we met at the guild early in the morning, got the dungeon exploration permit, and paid in advance to hire Grateful for the day. If we don't reserve her, there's the chance that she will be hired by other explorers. After that, I headed to the direction of the Great Fire Spirit Temple with Rufria. This city has a respective Great Spirit Church, placed in a way that the center is the dungeon in a cross formation. The north is earth, the east is wind, west is fire, and south is water. My lodging is in the territory of the Great Water Spirit, and it is a place close to the dungeon, so I haven't seen the Great Spirit Church. There's a real Great Spirit in the church, and they are apparently providing energy to the city with its unlimited spirit energy. Is the Great Spirit imprisoned by the church? Hikaru. Yeah, there's those opinions too, but the Great Spirit Samas can break free from the restraints of the church if they want, so they are basically cooperating. That's how it is taken. Rufria. That's the kind of argument that feels as if something is stuck on your teeth. Hikaru. It is true that the Great Spirit Samas are used. No. We have their cooperation in the structure of a city. That's how we can procure spirit stones from the dungeon, and we can live a good life. Rufria. That thing about a dungeon appearing when they gather in one place. Are there no demerits to dungeons? Like maybe monsters overflowing? Hikaru. Hikaru, you didn't even know that? Ah. We are here. Rufria. We arrived while we were talking, and entered the blacksmith. Even though it was still early in the morning, there was smoke coming out from the chimney, and there were clanging noises of hammering metal. The city is big, but it is not as big as Japan. The density of buildings is high, and there are no cars, so the alleys are filled with a whole lot of narrow paths, but that makes the city smaller. Hello Tilda. Rufria. Hey there. Ooh, Rufria-chan, did you come here for sword maintenance? The smithy was only barely around 33 square meters. The inside had accumulated heat, and it was pretty hot. The owner is a real muscular old man of small stature. and that plentiful beard made me associate it with a race that's specialized in blacksmithing, but there's no way I can go asking him, "Are you a dwarf?" No. Today I was thinking about buying a weapon for him. Rifria, who? A referral from Rifria-chan. What is it you are looking for? Having been thrown the topic, I gave him the request I thought of. Chapter 056, Order and Abnormality. A short sword that can be held in both hands. The length of the blade would be around this much. Hikaru, yesterday night, I thought about what weapon would fit me. There's the problem that I can't bring much power holding a weapon with one hand. In the first place, I fight using the style of hiding in the darkness, so there's no point in having a shield. That's why it would be better to use a weapon that can be used with both hands, and fight with tricky methods. That's why I am going for a single-edge weapon that can be used with both hands depending on the situation. As for the length of it, I would say something around the length of my elbow to my hand, somewhere between 30 to 40 centimeters. It may be short, but I want it to be made in a way that I can use it while concentrating the weight. Of course, this is also a weapon I chose because it would be sweet for the viewers. The viewers wish for me to be hurt, so they wouldn't want me to obtain stability with my equipment by buying a weapon with long range like a spear or a bow. With a short sword, I would have to step into that range in order to attack, so the risk is high, but I am fully aware of that. If I don't do that much, there's no way I would get the return of becoming first. Are you adding an arc to it? No, I think it will mostly be used for stabbing, so just make it a single-edged blade. Hikaru, it is a short sword. If I were to add curvature to it, it would only lower its strength. I would like to prioritize sturdiness. Fumu, I am touching you for a bit. The old man pats my body. He must be checking my muscles. What can he tell with that? Try swinging this. This time he gave me a sword that was hung on the wall. The blade seems to have been dulled, but it is a pretty rustic broadsword. There's quite a bit of weight to it, and it seems difficult for me to use it. Moreover, I have never used a blade this long, so even if I were to swing it, I would just be copying what I have seen. It is a bit embarrassing to swing a sword in public, but it might be normal in this fantasy world. After making me swing the sword for around 3 minutes, the old man said that's good enough and stopped me. I would say you are around tier 9. We just have to look forward to what will become of you as a swordsman. You can tell my tier level? Hikaru, it is kinda like intuition. You wouldn't be able to swing this sword to that extent with your muscles after all. I see. Hikaru, in my case, I have physical strength up 1, so my actual tier is probably lower. Hikaru is a spirit user, an amazing one. Rifria, maybe because my sword swinging was questionable. Rifria tried to give points to me. Who, then the dagger is for self-protection? It is not for self-protection, but it might be difficult to explain. It would be faster to just show you. What do you think, Rifria? Should I show it or not? Hikaru, it isn't that peculiar of a fighting style for an ability user, so I guess it would be okay, but this is the territory of the Great Fire Spirit Sama, so won't it be hard to show dark abilities? Rifria, it is slightly darker since it is indoors, so it is okay. Hikaru, after I give a light explanation to the old man, I decide to actually show him. Then, here I go. Darkness fog. Hikaru. The overflowing darkness was covering even the light of the hearth. I approach the old man and silently touch his neck. Something like this. Hikaru, I say as I undo the darkness. Oh, you can use spirit abilities to this degree even though you are in the territory of the Great Spirit Sama. You have found someone incredible, Rifria-chan. I am surprised as well. Hikaru, you really are amazing. Rifria, I'm being praised for this. It is instead making me feel embarrassed. It is true that it is pretty hard to use spirit abilities in the city, but even with that, I can at least show 1/10 of what I would be able to inside the dungeon. Well, anyways, I get it. With that fighting style, It would be better to use a weapon that just requires one deadly strike because it won't have much reach. It isn't suited for long exchanges, so please understand that part. Of course. Hikaru. It seems we came right at the timing when he finished a big job. So he will be taking the job immediately. The price is 30 silver. I paid 10 silver in advance. And I promised to pay the remaining when he finishes making it. Earning 20 silver coins isn't easy, but I can just sell the Mantis Spirit Stone at worst. That apparently can go for as much as 10 silver coins after all. But is a price like 30 silver coins okay? The stores at the main street would even sell spears at around 12 silver coins. Hikaru. Those kinds of stores that deal with anything are just rip-offs. They sell what smithies have made at double the price. I see. Hikaru. In other words, the dagger I ordered would go for 60 silver coins in those rip-off stores. I managed to make a good purchase thanks to Rafria. After leaving the smithy, we decided to eat something on the suggestion of Rafria. There's a lot of tasty places in the territory of the Great Fire Spirit. It really is all about firepower when it comes to cooking. Rafria. The place of yesterday was good too though. Looking forward to it. Hikaru. It seems like in the Great Fire Spirit's territory, the firepower increases. Fire Spirit tools apparently go around commonly, but it seems twice the amount of fire comes out. Fires happen decently often. I feel like this is plain dangerous, but my sense of values might be different from theirs since I am from Earth. It normally shouldn't be the time to be eating, but it feels like this would help with the viewers. If I were watching this on Earth, I would be interested in the food of the night sky. My hand was pulled by a merry Rafria and we entered a big establishment. There's many stores with half of it being an open terrace. Despite this still being morning, more than half of the seats were occupied. Looking at the other tables, I could see that the other customers have ordered big plates of something that resembles yakisoba that has a whole lot of stuff in it. That looks tasty. My treat. You did introduce me to a blacksmith. Hikaru, eh? Is that okay? Yay. We would like to order. Rafria, I only ate a little bit this morning, so this works just fine. I also order takeout to give to full too. After a while, yakisoba was brought to our table, and just when we were going to eat, the abnormality happened. Doesn't the spirit energy feel kind of weird? Hikaru, feel? I don't really feel anything though. Rafria, no. This feeling. I feel like it is similar to the time when the Lord of Darkness showed up. Hikaru. This city normally has dense spirit energy. That dense power is being poured to the dungeon. But I feel like the type of density has changed just now. If Rafria, who is a spirit user like me, can't feel it, it must be my imagination. Hikaru. That. Rafria. Wait. What's that? Hikaru. The store is facing the main street, so one can clearly see the coming and going of people. There's a heat haze swaying at the other side of the ruckus of the people. It is as if a campfire is walking down the main street. Fire? Some sort of performance? Hikaru. I say, but the shift in spirit energy was begging to disagree with me. Chapter 057-058, Great Fire Spirit and Loved One. No. That's not it. There's no doubt the origin of the raging spirit energy is from that burning location. The spirits around were making a ruckus. I feel like even the temperature has increased. That's the Great Fire Spirit's armor. Rafria, Great Spirit. That is? It burns that much? Hikaru, the Great Spirit's armors take the form of nature. The Great Fire Spirit's armor has the manly figure of being embraced by fire. You still haven't shown up at the church, huh, Hikaru? Rafria, right. I didn't have business there after all. Hikaru, I already have a contract with the Great Dark Spirit, and was having a plain lifestyle so that viewers wouldn't watch me, so I have basically not gone to any place I didn't need to. Even so, why has it come out from the church? Rafria, is it something rare? Hikaru, yeah. In order for a great spirit Sama to stay in one place, there's the need for great labor. No, sacrifices. Refria. I was munching on my yakisoba and wasn't thinking too deeply about it. Even if that is a great spirit, it is different from the great dark spirit I called. That's what I thought. The great spirit was floating its way here. By the time the distance closed to around 100 meters, I heard a voice. Tasty, tasty. There's a tasty smell coming from here, calling me, telling me that they want me to find them, want me to eat them. It is the scent of someone wishing for that. Found you. See, I found you. A person that wants to be loved by me. The great fire spirit was looking at me, straight at me, with fiery burning eyes. A man with fire covering his whole body. A manly guy in a single piece of loincloth. He is being tied by several chains, and women that seem like priestesses were desperately pulling those chains. But the Great Spirit couldn't be stopped by the power of the priestesses, and they were simply being pulled. Something is strange, isn't it? No, in the first place, the Great Spirit Sama coming to the main street itself is already abnormal. Refria, sorry. It seems the objective of that is most likely me. Hikaru. I stood up from my seat, touched the shoulder of Refria, and then took out the barrier stone from my shadow bag, and broke it. It was the same pattern with the great dark spirit. No matter how you think about it, it is aiming for me. What's this ability? Damn it. I can't get close. Even though I know he is there. Oi. What's this? The great fire spirit was gradually getting away as he got angry. A barrier that distances dangers. The more you try to approach it, the stronger the repulsion force. Also, it is fortunate that this guy seems to be more smooth-brained than the great dark spirit. That was dangerous. So this is what happens when I get close to a church, huh? Hikaru, from here on, I should consider the very act of getting close to a church as dangerous. It is a shame that I won't be able to come to a good place like this anymore. Hikaru? What's this film-like thing? Refria. A barrier to distance danger. That great spirit seems to be targeting me, so I placed it. Without this, I would have been eaten. Hikaru. Eaten, you say? In other words, you really are a loved one? Refria. No. Is what I want to say, but I don't know. Hikaru. Does a loved one mean a person that has received the affection of spirits? I can only think that's the case with this development. Refria. What's that loved one thing? Hikaru. You don't even know that. You really are weird, Hikaru. Refria. In other words, I lack common sense. Obviously, I have only been here for a few months. Should I have confessed that I came from a parallel world immediately just like Alex? I don't think there's any point in hiding it here anymore. Have you felt gazes or laughing at places where there's supposed to be no one? Refria. Why yes, I have. Why? Hikaru. I knew it. That's the trait of loved ones. Spirits gather around the loved ones. Refria. Those laughs and gazes were from spirits. The scorn and the gazes of curiosity. Does that mean they were all my delusions? I see. Then I really am a loved one. Probably. Hikaru. But I can't understand. Why is a loved one able to use spirit abilities? Refria. Close. Too close. Hikaru. She grabbed both of my arms with incredible strength, approaching me suddenly with strong panic. But I can't really follow here. The gazes and laughs were from small spirits. You would hear their voices, gazes, and at times even see them. That's a loved one. Refria. So I am a loved one. Does that have anything to do with spirit abilities? Hikaru. Rather than saying if it has anything to do. Loved ones normally can't learn spirit abilities. Refria. Why? Hikaru. When they try to form a contract, they end up being eaten by the great spirit Sama. Refria. Yikes. Or more like, Of course that would happen. The Great Spirit of today was also saying tasty tasty. I think the Great Dark Spirit that showed up in the forest said so as well. Great Spirit Samas love loved ones. You have to be careful too, Hikaru. It would be one thing with the Great Spirit Samas that are bound by the church like the one of today, but if you were to be found by a Great Spirit Sama in the wild, you would be devoured. Rufria. Yeah. Got it. I will be careful. Hikaru, I do have first-hand experience after all. That avatar of darkness really must have been a great dark spirit. She was completely trying to eat me. If the barrier stone didn't work, I would be dead. No. Today as well, if I didn't have a barrier stone, who knows what would have happened. If I had run to the dungeon, I might have been able to manage somehow. But I don't think I would be able to get away if I were to be chased seriously. Well, anyways, is there a connection between loved ones and spirit abilities? Hikaru. Yeah, you are loved by spirits after all. In the first place, spirit abilities are performed by borrowing the power of spirits. In your case, Hikaru, I think there would be several tens of times more spirits who would want to help you compared to me. I have spoken a lot with my little sister about how, if loved ones were able to use spirit abilities, they would be the strongest, but to think one would exist. Rufria. Is that how it works? Hikaru. Hikaru. Do you know how many times us spirit users can use spirit abilities in one day? Rufria. No. Hikaru. 3 to 10 times. 15 would be considered a lot. If you use more than that, you lose consciousness. Rufria, seriously? Hikaru, I didn't think there would be that much of a gap, as expected from the affection of spirits that cost 30 points. Is what I would like to say, but thinking about the fact that their natural enemy is great spirits, it is basically the big gains, big pains logic. This is complicated. Even so. Loved one, huh? How ironic. Even though I am a hated one. Chapter 58, The Demon of the Dungeon and the Warning. By the way, do great spirits show up in dungeons? Hikaru. No, great spirit samas don't manifest in dungeons. Rufria, that's a relief. I have almost no points, so if I were to get caught up with something like that, it would be over. I was about to say this in the morning before entering the smithy, but in exchange for great spirit samas not manifesting, a demon lord appears in the dungeons. It is the biggest demerit of creating a dungeon. Demon lords that are as strong as great spirit samas rarely appear, but they sometimes appear in shallow floors, so you have to be careful too, Hikaru. Or Rufria. Or Hikaru. Demon lords also love loved ones. Rufria. That's awful. Or more like, what are demon lords in the first place? Hikaru, this is something I have learned after speaking with people like this, but there's way too much I don't know about this world. Well, I have done my utmost to not get involved with people, so it can't be helped, but there should be a limit to everything. You were diving into dungeons and didn't know about demon lords? Rufria, as I said before, I am a beginner. Hikaru, a demon lord is the embodiment of magic that manifests by gathering the swirling chaotic spirit energy in the dungeon. Rufria, is it different from monsters? Hikaru, monsters are an amalgamation of a variety of spirits, so their purity isn't that high. They almost never drop a chaotic spirit stone even when defeating them. Rufria, a chaotic spirit stone is more expensive, was it? Hikaru, price is important. An explorer is basically like an excavator of spirit stones. I also have one, but the only info I've got is that it is expensive. How expensive is it, I wonder? It is on a whole degree more expensive. You can use chaotic spirit stones for anything, and complex magic tools can't be operated without a chaotic spirit stone. It is worth 10 times more than a colored spirit stone of the same size. Rufria, Now that I think about it, I have done an item appraisal to a spirit stone before. I open the status board and show the past record. Spirit stone, chaotic. A chaotic spirit stone is an item that can be harvested from the body of an animal that has become a monstrosity or shows rarely when defeating a monster. Chaotic means that it couldn't obtain one pure element and has been mixed. It has all elements and is also denoted as demonic. The drop chance from a demon lord is 100%. It is rare for a normal monster or a monstrosity to drop it, and it is valuable. Big spirit stones are being traded at a high value as an energy source for magic tools. The pertaining appraisal target was dropped from a flame orangutan wondrous entity. LL size. Rare material. This is the item appraisal I did to the spirit stone of that fire giant monkey. What I have appraised can be picked back up from the log. At that time, I didn't understand what it meant, but now I do. A drop rate of 100% for demon lords, a valuable item, and it is used as an energy source for magic tools. All the important stuff was written here. Also, Hikaru, please keep the fact that you are a loved one a secret between us two, especially for people affiliated to the church. Refria. Why? Hikaru, if you are found by a related party of the church, you will be confined as a sacrifice. Refria, seriously? I'll be careful. Looks like it would be better to not get close to anything related to the church. Or more like, aren't you also affiliated to the church? Refria? Hikaru, I am just an apprentice. Also. I am against sacrifices. In reality, making a dungeon city like this is against nature to begin with. Refria, I see. Your homeland was the Light Great Church, right? Do they not use sacrifices there? Hikaru, Silshan is a natural church. It is not like an artificial church where they use sacrifices to keep the Great Spirit Samas in one place. Refria, I see. Hikaru, in order to create a dungeon city, they need great spirits, and for the sake of that, they use loved ones as sacrifices. That must be how it works. I feel like I was suddenly slapped with the reality of dungeon cities. I am glad you were the first one to learn that I am a loved one. Refria, if I had been unlucky, I could have become a wanted man. Hikaru, yeah, that's why. Please be really careful, okay? Refria, judging from her serious expression, it really must be bad. And in reality, I had the barrier stone, so I was okay, but if I didn't, I would have been done for. But all this business about loved ones being made into sacrifices and getting eaten by great spirits, won't a lot of people that used 30 points to get affection of spirits be caught in this trap? Especially being eaten by a great spirit. How can you even avoid that? I feel like there aren't that many who could take the 30 points for the affection and, on top of that, get the spirit ability for 10 points. A total of 40 points is a pretty painful number. Yeah, but this is one big surprise. When I am with you, I really don't run out of things to get surprised about. Your spirit abilities are incredible. You didn't falter at the blacksmith and probably made your order. You are a loved one. And you even have a magic tool that can keep away a great spirit Sama. Refria. No. The last one I basically dragged you into it though. This thing lasts for a long while, so let's eat the fried noodles. Hikaru, a barrier stone is effective for half a day. It keeps away danger. So it seems like the harmless people around can tell that we are here. It must have a special way to judge threats. This barrier stone is my last one, so I wanted to use it when a situation required it, but I didn't expect to use it for this. Oh well, a happening like this is necessary in order to obtain viewers. By the way, the yakisoba was good. Despite this being an isekai, the food is tasty. This scores pretty high points as a Japanese person. If this were a world that only had meat and bread, I would have considered learning to cook as soon as possible. Or I might have traded for sandwiches with crystals. After a while, people of the church came here hurriedly to hear about the situation, but it seems like they couldn't see us and we were ignored. Just as Refria said, They must have come to search for the loved one. Looks like it is okay to undo the barrier. The presence of the Great Spirit is gone now. Maybe it returned to the church? Hikaru, why yeah. It must have. Hikaru, the church manages the loved ones in order to avoid things like this from happening. Please make sure to never forget that. Rufria, right. I don't want to be eaten. I will make sure not to get close to the church. Hikaru, I currently have 0 points. I have more than 30 crystals, so it is possible to trade them for a barrier stone worth 1 point, but I can't go using a barrier stone every time this happens. Fortunately, I now have an idea of what the presence of a great spirit is like. Looks like it will be okay as long as I don't approach a certain distance. Definitely, okay? If this happens over and over, they will be searching high and low for you, Hikaru. If they get serious, you won't be able to stay in this city anymore. You definitely must not forget, okay? Rufria, got it. I definitely won't get close. I promise. Hikaru, being warned over and over. I promised to Rufria. Anyways, I have already completely understood that great spirits are my natural enemy. There's no way I would get close to them. After that, I undid the barrier and we dashed to the guild. There was no presence of the great spirit. Man, what a shame that I won't be able to go eat that yakisoba again. Chapter 59. Mantis once again and a favorable day. The dungeon exploration was going smoothly. More specifically, we are simply hunting monsters in a place we are used to, so I wouldn't really call it exploration. But our current equipment isn't reliable enough to advance to the next floor, and there were other things I wanted to do. Rufria has experienced till the 4th floor, and Grateful said that she can act as the scout for the 3rd floor. That's why they are matching me in the hunts at the 2nd floor. Well, our monster hunting pace is abnormal, so Rufria said that we would profit more here than forcing ourselves to hunt in the 3rd and 4th floor. However, the increase in viewers is beginning to stagnate. There's a need to go to the next step. Mantis Naya. Grateful, it was in the afternoon of the next day when I ordered my dagger at the blacksmith. The monster I was waiting for finally appeared. Rufria, please test out if you can defeat it with only my assistance. There's no need to push yourself. Make it as fast as possible. If we are going to lower floors, I want to test if we can defeat a powerful enemy in around 1 minute. Hikaru, got it. Rufria, my teamwork with Rufria has reached pretty good sync levels. Shadowbind only lasts for a short time, but it is strong instantaneous binding power. If one properly uses that momentary opening, you can aim for an assured critical hit. Rufria and I have been spending these few days trying to match the timing. The mantis enters the category of not being as aggressive as the other monsters in this floor. Different from the goblins and the orcs that come at you in groups. It is the type that slowly approaches you and swish. That's why, as long as a scout finds it first, it is possible to run away from it. They even sell smoke bombs for the sake of that. I hide in the darkness and slowly approach the mantis. Rufria closes the distance as if showing off her great sword. The strength of the mantis is pretty simple. Its power and speed is higher than that of an ogre, and the ends of its arms are long sickles. In other words, it is different from the other bare-handed monsters. They all have weapons. Those sickles can even take an attack from the great sword of Rufria, so it has outstanding physical strength and sturdiness. Thinking about it normally, the thin sickle should break in one hit, but I have never seen it break. You can't tell a single expression from the praying mantis head. The brawny human upper body has no useless meat in it, and even though it is a monster, its shape was admirable. The lower half is that of an insect, and 4 legs are supporting its upper body, and it looks like it would be hard to crumble its balance. I have defeated it once when I helped out Rufria, but now that I think back on it calmly, I am impressed I managed to defeat such a strong monster like a mantis. By the way, mantises apparently show in the 4th and 6th floor. In other words, that's the level of monster it is. People apparently don't know why it shows up in the second floor. When the distance between Refria and the mantis was around 10 meters, I widened the range of darkness fog. At the same time as I did this, I summoned night bugs and began the attack. Monsters react to presences inside the darkness. When it reaches the level of a mantis, it can react by attacking even inside the darkness, but by increasing the amount of presences with night bug, I can suppress its movements. On top of that, I can expect it to also dampen the presence of the approaching Refria. Shadow Bind. Hikaru. At the same time as Refria reached killing range, I undid darkness fog, and without missing a beat, I sealed its movements with Shadow Bind. The restraining power of Shadow Bind is the strongest when it is casted, and then it will rapidly lose its power, and the monster gets freed pretty soon after. The effective time differs between monsters, but I would say it doesn't even amount to 30 seconds. It doesn't bring much confidence to use it to immobilize someone, but as an ability that can create an instant opening, it is incredibly useful. In other words, if you hit a bind at the same time as an attack is done, the opponent won't be able to evade or defend. Moreover, right after coming out from the darkness, that's the team attack between me and Refria. One deadly blow. Moreover, it is a full power attack from a greatsword that's the size of a human. It must carry unspeakable power. Zan. The downward slash of Refria that carried her whole weight hit the mantis and it perished. A spirit stone one size bigger than that of an ogre falls and rolls on the ground. It is unfortunately not a chaotic spirit stone, but it is colored a wind spirit stone. It went well. If it works against a mantis, it should somehow work with the third floor monsters too. Hikaru, what's scary about a dungeon is the possibility of other monsters attacking you while you are fighting. In order to avoid that, they use scouts to ensure a preemptive strike, and finish the battle as fast as possible. These two factors are vital. If you can defeat a mantis in 20 seconds, there's close to nothing that is dangerous in the second floor anymore. Of course, being careless can be fatal though. We probably won't have problems in the third floor either. According to Refria and Grateful, the third floor, the straying big mist garden, apparently doesn't have monsters that come in groups, and it suits our party. Whatever the case, I won't be able to know unless I actually go, but this result gives me confidence. It is to the point that it is going way too well. To be able to defeat it in one hit is just... Refria, that's amazing Nyan. I have been a scout for a long time, but I have never seen a party that can defeat a mantis in such a gallant way. Naya. Grateful. No. The amazing one is Hikaru. It didn't even have to be me. I think a silver rank or higher warrior would have been able to produce the same result. Refria. No. It is important to be in sync. This is because you trust in me. Refria. If you had hesitated even for an instant, the timing would be missed and it would have been blocked. Hikaru. If it gets blocked, the rest would be a muddy battle. It would be possible to win, but it isn't a smooth way to, and the chances of getting injured would increase. The battles against monsters in this dungeon are hunts. You should create situations where it is one-sided. Of course, experiencing muddy battles is also important. All right, let's finish for today. Hikaru. Then, we will be going to the third floor from tomorrow on? Refria. No, let's take a break tomorrow. We have been fighting the whole time for several days straight, so the fatigue must be accumulating, and the weapon must be ready by then. After getting it, I want to practice with it by swinging it around a bit or something. Hikaru. After exiting the dungeon, we head to the guild. It is to sell the spirit stones and report to them. But I asked Refria to do that. Reporting to the guild is also for the sake of increasing the ranking of the explorer, so you normally have to go with everyone. But it is okay for the representative to report it. Of course, there's the need to register as a party first, and most of the time, there's the need for the representative to be silver or higher rank. Well, if it is okay with just the representative, Having the representative be of a high trustworthy rank is obviously a method to avoid any fraudulent things like increasing the rank of a person that didn't actually participate in the exploration. In that sense, you could say that silver ranks and higher are trusted. I am close to saving enough for the sure sword, but getting 20 silver coins for myself in just a few days is quite the pace. The guild buyer seems to be pretty surprised by that too. A bronze rank spiritus must pass 3 months or sell spirit stones 30 times in order to raise their rank to the ebony rank dryad. My rank is the lowest bronze, the 6th one. A bronze earning this much apparently doesn't have much precedent. Well, I am partying with the silver rank Rafria, so they seem to think I am just sticking to her. By the way, in order to raise your guild rank, you have to take a test. They want to avoid any foul plays, like buying spirit stones, in raising the ranks. Then, let's meet again the day after tomorrow. Hikaru, Hikaru. Can I go with you to the smithy tomorrow? I am free anyways. Rafria, that's fine by me. But I have some business in the afternoon, so only in the morning, okay? I will come pick you up in the morning. Hikaru, yay. Then, I will wake up early. Promise, okay? Rafria. It turned out this way. Now then, tomorrow will be a busy one. Chapter 060. Exclusive Chosen Bulletin Board JPN, number 1000, Kurose Hikaru, 2829th, 333. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria-sama is already completely in love. -334. Anonymous from Earth. The way she just follows him with her gaze every now and then is just -335. Anonymous from Earth. My heart is throbbing so much. I'm die. Thank you forever. -336. Anonymous from Earth. It is hilarious that Hikaru doesn't notice at all. So dense. -337. Anonymous from Earth. No. He probably is pretending he doesn't notice. Rafria-sama has already confessed to him. -338. Anonymous from Earth. It is not a reality show but reality itself. This corrupt feeling of watching an actual love with no acting. I just. -339. Anonymous from Earth. I also want to have a romance like this. -340. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria saying just give them my name and it will be okay, as if it is nothing. She really has the traits of making a man a deadbeat. -341. Anonymous from Earth. Grateful-chan falling asleep at the dino was so cute. -342. Anonymous from Earth. It is good that he has become more positive, but can he really get first place like this? -343. Anonymous from Earth. I am not saying he is taking it easy here, but they are acting mainly in a dark dungeon, so no matter if he has the radiance of Rafria-sama. This is a bit. -344. Anonymous from Earth. Watching the sweetness between the two is fun too though. -345. Anonymous from Earth. He is currently 27th place, right? It ain't bad. But the top places are way too strong. -346. Anonymous from Earth. The zombie annihilation master plan of Max-sama is way too amusing after all. -347. Anonymous from Earth. Being surrounded by zombies and settling one sieging act by using barrier stones. It is so like zombie movies. I was laughing out loud. -348. Anonymous from Earth. Why do Americans love zombies that much? Zombies are just plain disgusting. -349. Anonymous from Earth. They probably got desensitized from seeing them so much in movies. -350. Anonymous from Earth. The stream of Hikaru lacks handsomeness. If you want to get viewers, you can't just cater to men. -351. Anonymous from Earth. Don't you know about the popularity of Hikaru overseas? -352. Anonymous from Earth. He is strangely making the overseas Anisans crazy. I don't know the reason why. -353. Anonymous from Earth. It must be those tears and that darkness in him. -354. Anonymous from Earth. There's a lot of his type in Japan. But maybe there aren't that many overseas? It might seem fresh. -355. Anonymous from Earth. What way are the other chosen who chose darkness using it? The same as Hikaru? -356. Anonymous from Earth. They are using it the same. But dark mist is honestly meh. It would be one thing in a place that's already dark, but have no choice but to call it trash in bright places. -357. Anonymous from Earth. The one that seemed like the biggest miss, Earth, was actually the strongest early game. Light and water are strong when raised though. -358. Anonymous from Earth. Gravel mist is nice. -359. Anonymous from Earth. You have to get to the level of Hikaru where he uses darkness fog and summon Nightbug at the same time, or darkness just won't perform. -360. Anonymous from Earth. No. You get an advantage with just the shadow bag, so that's actually the main body. -361. Anonymous from Earth. They don't need to hire a porter after all. -362. Anonymous from Earth. Will Hikaru challenge other dungeons someday too? -363. Anonymous from Earth. If he doesn't die, a dungeon explorer is by the side of death the whole time. Right now he is taking a margin of safety, but that can be overturned with a second of misfortune. -364. Anonymous from Earth. It is easy to imagine that the members will fall into dangerous states if you act in a party. After all, if Rafria-sama or Full-chan were to die, he wouldn't be able to get over it for a while. -365. Anonymous from Earth. By the way, the Great Fire Spirit came to eat Hikaru, but could it be that after that? -366. Anonymous from Earth. This is just a possibility, but he must have been offered captured loved ones in order to appease him. -367. Anonymous from Earth. OF. That's why Rafria-sama told him so many times to not get close to the church. -368. Anonymous from Earth. Rafria-sama is a Templar apprentice, so of course she knows how they appease great spirits. -369. Anonymous from Earth. Not telling Hikaru this must have been her being considerate. -370. Anonymous from Earth. Great spirits are docile when they are sucking on loved ones after all. -371. Anonymous from Earth. But the sucked loved ones die. -372. Anonymous from Earth. One more that gets sacrificed for Hikaru. -373. Anonymous from Earth. One more. -374. Anonymous from Earth. Nanami-chan. -375. Anonymous from Earth. So there was still someone pushing the Hikaru killer narrative. -376. Anonymous from Earth. The possibility still remains after all. The murder weapon still hasn't been found either. -377. Anonymous from Earth. If Hikaru is the culprit, he has no reason to aim for first place. How about thinking with your own brain? -378. Anonymous from Earth. Hikaru can't really be blamed here. He doesn't know about it. I do feel bad for the sucked loved ones though. -379. Anonymous from Earth. It is not like it is certain they have been sucked. -380. Anonymous from Earth. It is scary how calm Hikaru was despite him being on the verge of being eaten by a great spirit. Is it really the time to be eating yakisoba? -381. Anonymous from Earth. A barrier stone is effective for 12 hours after all. -382. Anonymous from Earth. He probably thinks that's a tasty development to increase viewers. He is the same as the twins, His ability to discern opportunities is incredible. -383. Anonymous from Earth. This is definitely Anna-chan not caring about the dangers to his own life. Anne, he is in such a dangerous state that I just can't bear to watch. I think this would have been pretty close if he didn't have a barrier stone. They do say that great spirits are not beings a human can fight against. It seems like Anna-chan is trying to put his life on the line to get first place in the viewer count race. I just hope he doesn't do something reckless though. I only have bad premonitions of this. 384. Anonymous from Earth. He was originally diving on his own after all. Yeah, I'm beginning to have bad premonitions too. -385. Anonymous from Earth. Even though Rafria is affiliated to the Light Great Church, she isn't snitching on Hikaru. When you report a loved one, you get something like a reward, right? -386. Anonymous from Earth. A number of Chosen have been imprisoned from that. After all, Hikaru will be suffering the same fate, or more like. Affection of spirits really is one trash skill. -387. Anonymous from Earth. 385. She already said that the Light Great Church is a natural church, and is against artificial churches, right? Even the natives must have their own thoughts regarding sacrifices. Well, there's also the fact that she loves him, so it would be scary if there's a time when her feelings take a turn. There's the chance for the faithful-looking Rafria-sama to have a change of heart after all. -388. Anonymous from Earth. 386. Affection of spirits is seriously a landmine skill. The ability itself is strong though. The Chosen who grabbed affection of spirits and have been imprisoned have relatives sending messages to them, but it doesn't look like they can escape. The Templars are plain strong after all. -389. Anonymous from Earth. A smithy is nice. Being in a world where you can have your own weapon made by a blacksmith, that's the stuff of dreams. -390. Anonymous from Earth. There's demand in the dungeon city, so the price is also accessible. If we wanted to buy a great sword here, it would end up being pretty pricey. -391. Anonymous from Earth. Speaking of it, was that a dwarf? -392. Anonymous from Earth. It is apparently being translated as dwarf, but in the original language, it is not dwarf at all. -393. Anonymous from Earth. It goes the same for lynx and elves. It is just the translation doing too much work. -394. Anonymous from Earth. That goes for the names of the monsters too. According to Alex Kun, the names of the hungering beasts underground prison are servants to goblins, jailer to orcs, chief prison guards to ogres, executioners to mantis. -395. Anonymous from Earth. Having both arms as scythes is quite the dangerous executioner. -396. Anonymous from Earth. Really? Even though the native language is being perceived, the name's different? -397. Anonymous from Earth. Because of the Isekai language skill, the Earth language is automatically being translated. Even though their mouths say servant, they are thinking goblin in their head. The researchers that are investigating the discrepancies are cooperating with the Chosen quite a lot and sending quite a lot of messages. That's why there's sometimes flips with Chosen to match with the original name. -398. Anonymous from Earth R. It is that, right now it is translating it as elf, but the native language is white shine person. -399. Anonymous from Earth. The translation has the playfulness of God in it. Well, the talking, writing, and reading all have the translation doing its work, so there's rarely any inconveniences though. -400. Anonymous from Earth. In the automatic translations, lynxes add nya to their sentences. They apparently have their own accent in the native language, so that must have been the localization. -401. Anonymous from Earth. So the Chosen are in a state like when the Japanese dubbing has way too many personal interpretations in it. -402. Anonymous from Earth. The Japanese Chosen apparently get their localization treatment a lot. Ryoko-chan is being cooperative in the translations, so there has been a lot clarified in this 1 month though. -403. Anonymous from Earth. The Chosen that don't have knowledge in fantasy settings get the actual word after all. They don't get the Naya, or caveman, or whiteshine. -404. Anonymous from Earth. I don't know which one is better. I personally prefer the localization. -405. Anonymous from Earth. Elf, not really saying elf. -406. Anonymous from Earth. Anyways, I am cheering for Hikaru, but first place is a bid. I don't know. I do want Nanami-chan to come back to life, and Celica and Karen are pushing the advertisement to the limits. -407. Anonymous from Earth. He is slowly creeping up into the ranks. His motivation to become first is different after all. -408. Anonymous from Earth. The second place and below get pretty good prizes too. -409. Anonymous from Earth. It is a shame that each person can only give 24 hours worth of viewer points per day. -410. Anonymous from Earth. There's talk that if you aren't properly watching, the time won't be counted. -411. Anonymous from Earth. If they were counting the times when we are sleeping, it would easily be double the numbers after all. God is strangely strict in those areas. -412. Anonymous from Earth. But there's no way to verify that. -413. Anonymous from Earth. Is there no place that wants to take first place for their country or something like that? Like cults too. -414. Anonymous from Earth. There's no place doing it publicly in fear of being punished by God. There's conspiracy theories floating every now and then, but who knows how true they are. -415. Anonymous from Earth. The more influential one is, the weaker they are to a god that their power doesn't work on. No matter how cocky a country gets, for God, they are simply mere humans after all. -416. Anonymous from Earth. God shows its mercilessness sometimes after all. Trying foul play on a large scale is risky. -417. Anonymous from Earth. It is scary how there's strangely more people dying from being struck by lightning this year than ever. Coincidence? Or, -418. Anonymous from Earth. Too obvious divine punishment. -419. Anonymous from Earth. There's no way the tops of countries would all be dying coincidentally in that way after all. -420. Anonymous from Earth. I can feel the will of God that doesn't allow cheating. -421. Anonymous from Earth. In that sense, Hikaru also has a chance. The plans of twin sis shouldn't be that dangerous that they would warrant divine punishment. -422. Anonymous from Earth. No, who knows what they are doing in places we don't know. They at the very least have money in the billions, so there's a high chance they are doing shady stuff. -423. Anonymous from Earth. Don't think that's the case. At the end of the day, they are still 12. -424. Anonymous from Earth. I always end up forgetting that. Chapter 061 to 062. Black Meteorica and Shore Sword and Solo. The next day I met with Rufria in the morning and we headed to the blacksmith. Today I am really just going to go get my weapon. You know, we have been diving into the dungeon the whole time lately, so wouldn't it be better for you to get a nice deserved break? The plan is to dive again tomorrow for 3 days consecutively after all. Hikaru. Yeah, I will have my weapon checked today. So once I am done with that, I will return to the inn to rest. Rufria, is apparently how it is. Well, I don't know what's the actual frequency of breaks in this world for explorers, so I can't really say much here. According to Grateful, The most common pattern is to explore one day and rest one day. It is a job that strains your body, so that might be the best frequency. Though, in my case, I have my circumstances. If Rafria finds it rough, then I will change it, but I want to keep this pace for now. Ooh, it is ready. When we arrived at the smithy, the old man immediately brought out the freshly made short sword. The old man is brusque, but he is fast and careful in his work. I don't think there's any problem, but please confirm it. The scabbard and handle are made from black cedar wood, and the scabbard has a leather strap wrapped around to prevent it from sliding. If you don't like it, you can change the wrapping string in whichever way you like. The short sword that the old man made had both a black scabbard and handle. I showed him my dark abilities, so he must have matched them. It is probably also because my attire is black as well. The appearance is that of a short sword, but it has decent weight to it, to the point that it made me uneasy if I will actually be able to use it for a second there. Maybe because I asked for a thick and rustic blade, or it might be that he judged I could utilize this in the sword swinging test. Hikaru, please show me the blade already. Rafria, got it. I am kinda nervous here. Hikaru, I take out the short sword from its sheath. I was expecting a white blade, but black. Hikaru, it fits you perfectly. Hikaru. Rafria. To my surprise, even the blade was black. As expected of an Isekai. To think there would be black blades. I made it with black meteoric iron. That metal is actually not popular, so I had an excess of it. But it fits you nicely, doesn't it? Yeah, I like it a lot. But meteoric iron? It falls from the sky? Hikaru, you could say that. It is a pretty special metal, but it is not like they come in fixed amounts, and there's not much use to them aside from making them into daggers or short swords. Also, there's a lot of customers that don't like black blades, so I was wondering what to do. That metal is said to be loved by the night goddess. It should have good compatibility with your spirit abilities. Hikaru. The great dark spirit Sama is the goddess. The fire, earth, and light great spirit Samas are gods, and the familiars of the sun god. The water, wind, and dark great spirit Samas are goddesses, and the familiars of the moon god. Amongst them, the great dark spirit Sama is said to be the closest to the moon god. Rafria, so there was a division like that. Well, great spirits do exist and you can communicate with them. So it must be true. A world where gods are real feels outlandish for someone like me who has come from modern Japan. I don't know if she is telling me a fairy tale here, or telling me an actual fact. The great dark spirit Sama is also called the night goddess after all. Thanks to that, she rarely appears in front of people. If I remember correctly, she only has natural churches. I want to go see the dark great church of Meleistas at least once. Rafria. It seems the priests are desperately searching for the great dark spirit Sama though. She probably is the opposite of the great light spirit Sama in that she only appears at night. I feel like it would be impossible to find her with only the moonlight. It is said that finding even the great light spirit Sama is difficult after all. I think they will only be finding natural churches as it has always been. Rafria and the old man began talking about great spirits. The two might unexpectedly be great spirit otakus. There's a lot of words I haven't heard before. I leave the two talking, and I begin to check my short sword. My honest opinion here is that something resembling a Japanese sword was unexpectedly made. It was made as I ordered, so you could say it is natural it turned out this way. A black scabbard and a black wrapping. The pommel is ring-shaped, and if I fasten a string to it, I might be able to avoid dropping it. The blade is around 35 centimeters long, and the handle that can be held with both hands must be around 25 centimeters, 60 centimeters overall. The blade is pretty heavy, but maybe because the handle is long, I don't feel the weight much. It really is heavy, but there's no problem when swinging it or stabbing. At the very least, with my current fighting style, There's no back and forth in my battles, so being able to do accurate strikes is essential. Nice. It is really nice. Hikaru. Most of all, I like that it looks cool. It may be a short sword, but it is a world where Japanese swords don't exist, so I thought of the possibility that my request wouldn't transmit properly, but it is 7 centimeters in width and the thickness is 2 centimeters, which was like half on its way to be a blunt weapon, was far above my expectations, and it spoke fluently about this being a weapon used against monsters. So cool. Looks like you have taken a liking to it. These moments really do make it worth being a blacksmith. It is rare to see Hikaru smiling like that, so I think he is really happy. Refria. It seems that you are watching me at some point in time. It is a bit embarrassing. I return the short sword back to its sheath. Thank you very much. It is really good. I have been going around using an unreliable dagger this whole time, so I finally feel as if I am one step into being competent. Hikaru, ye got it. An explorer and their weapon have an unbreakable relationship after all. Think of it as your new partner and take good care of it. Do you know how to maintain it? You smear it with oil, right? Hikaru, right. If it gets dirty, use a cloth to wipe away the old oil, and smear it lightly with new oil. Since you will be using it in the dungeon, it will rarely get dirty, so there's no need to be bothered about it that much though. I see. The monsters in the dungeon don't leave corpses, so there won't be blood, fluids, or pieces of meat sticking to it. You could even say the chances of the sweat and blood of the user sticking to it are higher. Hearing about the maintenance method, I pay the remaining 20 silver coins. I was given cloth and oil for free, and I hung my short sword on my waist. Now, Refria, as I said yesterday, I have some business today, so this is it for today. I will come pick you up tomorrow morning. Hikaru. Yeah. See you tomorrow, Hikaru. Refria. The face of Refria was saying she wanted to hang out more, but I really have business today. I won't say that back figure of hers doesn't sway me, but I shook off that temptation and began walking. I take a long turn through a back alley to the guild. I had them issue an entrance permit for the dungeon, buy a number of potions, and enter the dungeon alone. The method to gain viewers. I have said this many times already, but the best method is for me to risk my life. The viewers wish for my death after all. Chapter 062, Phantom Warrior and True Feelings. The method to become number 1 within more than 700 chosen. That is to drop into a situation where my life is in danger. That's the only method I could think of. If I just live my life normally, that would just be hateful. There's no person who would want to watch that. It would just be odious if I were to simply have a fulfilling adventure. But this can bring attention in a negative way. I am currently going down the stairs to lower floors with confidence going to my head. For the viewers that wish for my death, this is a development right in their alley. Going through the lower floors, where there's no knowing when you will die, should be able to bring out a high number of viewers. I can bring back Nanami. If that can be achieved, then it is natural for me to put my life as the betting chip. At this moment, I am going to move forward while changing the gazes and scorn from earth into strength. I went right to the second floor, and checked my equipment in front of the stairs leading to the third floor. Short sword and spare dagger. My armor is simply the Dark Knight Gauntlet. A lineup that is close to 0 defensive power as always. Even so, that's my style. After confirming that there's no one around, I coughed once and spoke. I will be going to the third floor, the straying big mist garden. I have almost no knowledge of it, but I am thinking of doing my best in commentating, so please look forward to it. Hikaru. I have never done commentaries, so I don't know how I should be doing this. Maybe I should have gone for a rowdier style. I somewhat understand that I should be creating my own character, but it is difficult to do it in practice. Also, 2 of my dark spirit abilities have been raised to tier 3 and ranked up. One is plain, but it is the shadow bag that has changed to shadow storage. It seems like the storage amount has increased. Hikaru, it is plain, but it has gotten really handy. It has increased its storage size by around 8 times after all. I can now store a whole lot of stuff like armor and shields. I can put my spare weapon here, and I can carry bandages, food, and stuff like potions without any worry of breaking them on the way. The other explorer parties hire porters quite a lot, but that's unnecessary, at least in the parties where I am in. The other one is Shadowrunner. To my surprise, it has become Phantom Warrior. Let's test it out on a monster nearby. Hikaru, by the way, my current tier and proficiency looks like this. It seems like all abilities grade up when they reach Tier 3. Dark Spirit ability, Tier 1 ability Falsehood of Darkness, Shade Shift, Proficiency 89. Tier 2 ability View of Darkness, Dark Vision, Proficiency 94. Casket of Darkness, Shadow Bind, Proficiency 58. Call of Darkness, Summon, Night Bug, Proficiency 42. Tier 3 ability Transformation of Darkness, Phantom Warrior, Proficiency 0. Deposition of Darkness, Shadow Storage, Proficiency 1. Tier 4 ability Revelation of Darkness, Darkness Fog, Proficiency 79. Special Technique Return of Darkness, Create, Undead, Proficiency 1. It must be because I used them in actual combat, or because I had comrades. My proficiency was going up nicely. I didn't have many chances to use Shade Shift, so it was hard to raise, but at this rate, I might be able to raise Shadowbind and Summon, Nightbug to Tier 3, which have had their usage rate increased. By the way, even if my tier increases and I learn higher abilities, it is possible to use the lower tier abilities too. After walking for a bit, I found an ogre. Luckily, it is alone. It is an ogre. I am thinking about fighting it to test my new weapon as well. Rifria is not here with me today, so I will do this carefully. Hikaru, I hide myself with Darkness Fog, and cast an ability towards the ogre. Phantom Warrior. Hikaru, spirit energy was changed into darkness with the activation of the ability, and that darkness gradually turned humanoid. Changing into the form of a warrior with armor and helmet, shield on its left arm, a warrior wielding a big sword. It wasn't completely made out of darkness. Just like Shade Shift, it is mimicking a human hiding in the darkness. It is perfect enough that it would be hard for a monster to see the difference. The Phantom Warrior is drumming the shield with its sword to draw attention, and approaches the ogre one deep step at a time. The ogre also readied its weapon and took a fighting stance. I narrowed down my Darkness Fog to its minimum, unsheathe my weapon while in the darkness, take the long way, and draw closer to the ogre unnoticed. Gah! The ogre swings its axe at the Phantom Warrior. But a warrior of darkness is simply a phantom being, so the deadly weapon cut through air, and the Phantom Warrior was totally fine. It continues raising noise and showing motions of attacking, but obviously, it has no substance, so there's no damage. The ogre had its attention completely drawn by the Phantom Warrior, so I pierced him with my short sword from the back at the base of its neck. The ogre died in one hit, and a fist-sized spirit stone fell onto the ground. Phantom Warrior seems to be a great ability. It has 0 attack power as usual, but it seems like it will be able to hold back a good number of enemies at the same time. Hikaru, I undo the Darkness Fog, and I pick up the Spirit Stone as I resume commenting. You could say this is actually incomparably more useful in actual combat than Shadowrunner. The previous one was simply a shadow having it run and distracting it for a bit, but a Phantom Warrior is a warrior no matter where you look at it. It should be difficult to ignore it, no matter if it is human or monster. Now then, I have tested the new ability, so let's go down to the 3rd floor. I will do my best to not die. Hikaru, I went down the stairs while still maintaining Darkness Fog. The stairs go on for pretty long. The 1st floor didn't really feel like it is underground that much, and it is made in a way that you can leave the Dusk Hades Street in a few turns. The stairs to the 2nd floor were the length of 2 flights of stairs in a building. It must be because the Hungry Beast underground prison isn't that high of a place. The stairs I am going down right now easily go over the 100 steps. Even so, I wonder what's this. Rather than calling it calming, it is more like it is comfortable. Hikaru, it is different from the time when I am with comrades. I was feeling strange comfort from hiding in the darkness alone. Being in a party means that I have to think about my party members the whole time. Dungeon exploration always has tension present. At the very least, it is a lot higher than when I am diving alone. One more thing. Since the time I formed a party, I have kept the times when I am in the darkness to only in battle. In other words, I was mostly showing myself. I was the one who was pushing myself. Hikaru, taking first place in the viewer count race. I decided to do anything for the sake of that. But it is not like the laughs and gazes have disappeared. I was simply pretending I didn't hear it. Pretending I don't feel them. I hear them no matter what. I have been telling myself those are the voices and gazes of the spirits. Just as Refria said, those voices and gazes were a trait from the affection of spirits, the trait of loved ones. But I have already perceived them in that way, so treating them as something different or as harmless is a different story. Voices that are laughing at me, telling me that there's no way someone like me can take first place. Gazes of curiosity, watching me utilize others for my own benefit. Have I managed to act bright and cheerful? Did I manage to hide it? I thought I managed to. And in reality, I did feel like I had begun to get used to it. But it was no good. When I drop my guard, those brush the weak parts of my heart. But inside the darkness where those voices and gazes can't reach, I can stay in my natural form. Commenting is rough, but if it is inside the darkness, it is like I am talking to myself. I told myself that diving alone was for the sake of increasing viewers, but maybe this was unexpectedly something that I myself wished for. I am honestly scared to go to lower floors on my own. My legs going down the stairs are trembling, and my goosebumps aren't stopping. But my trust towards the darkness that has saved my life countless times was lessening that fear. The presence of the spirits that I could feel on my skin through the deep darkness of darkness fog. That's why, I may be alone, but I am not alone. This pleasant darkness, that felt as if dozing off, could even be called relaxing. I try to calm myself as I trek onto the end of the stairs, towards the new stage where my battle for first place will take place.